What's he what's he talking about? Sammy Hagar says he's willing to get sick or even die to save the concert, to kickstart the concert industry. I'm John Beaudin. This is Rock History Music. Hope everyone's doing really well. I've got really high hair today. It's kind of kooky. What did you think of that statement? A lot of folks are talking about it online. You know, the former Van Halen guitarist just wants to get things going. Honey, honey, shh, it's my autistic daughter. She's having a party of one over there. What do you think about this? I was shocked by the headline, and it's talk. Okay, bonjour, John. Hi, Flo. You're always there. I appreciate that. What did you think about that? I, he's Leland Sklar, the famous bass player, said, with all due respect, I love you, Sammy, but that's not only your life we're talking about here, right? You're not. That's nice you make that decision, and I'm still firm on some people have to be saved from themselves because they're just going to do. They've got this fervor of wanting to get back to it. Hey, man, I'm bored too. I understand what's going on. Really, we're all cooped up, and we want to get out there and do something. But let's remember, hard times makes good people. This is hard times. Let's make the right decision. So I don't think it'd be a good idea to get out there and do a concert, and especially a concert. And, if you're in a church, that's one thing, and I wouldn't do that either. Well, I'm not religious. I don't go to church. But but in a concert where people are moving around, well, probably more than I move around, it's kind of kooky. I saw this, and listen, I've always been a big Sammy Hagar fan. I love Sammy Hagar. I love everything he did with Van Halen. I like about half of his solo stuff, and I got respect for the guy. He's a no bull kind of guy, and I like that. That's the kind of people I grew up with, and I can understand them. But I find that it's irresponsible. Anyone that want to chat, just chime in. It's kind of irresponsible to do that. Again, I'll say it probably 20 times in this video. Some people have to be saved from themselves because they're gullible, or else they're not bad people, but they just want to get out. They want to see their friends. We haven't had a guest in this house except Chase's girlfriend, who's upstairs, and its numbers are really low here where we're at. There's like 30 new cases in the entire province. We're in Alberta, Canada, Calgary. I think there was like 20, 30 yesterday. So we're in a pretty good situation. Not like what is it in Florida and Arizona? That's a lot to deal with. So anyway, I just want to say that I just don't want an artist like Sammy Hagar to give people the wrong idea to get out there going, hey, it's good. Because basically, let me get my iPad out and I'll read what he said. Sammy Hagar. I'll be comfortable playing the show before there's a vaccine. If the declining was saying, I'm going to make a radical statement here. This is hard to say without stirring somebody up, but truthfully, I'd rather personally get sick and even die if that's what it takes. Talk. I mean, he said, look, my hair's all sticking up. He said that. Would he actually do it? And as the numbers in the United States are rising, I can't imagine. Let's just say he does it and the numbers are going down. Hello, John. Your hair looks good. Thanks, Kevin. Kevin Henry. Kevin's my bud. Kevin, we have to do an interview where you talk about Elton John songs. Off topic. I agree with Sammy. I don't fear the virus. I fear the vaccine. Okay, well, I know some of you are like that. I had a conversation with an artist a little while ago who was talking about the nanobots in the vaccine and all that stuff, and the room started spinning around. Sammy has no problem. Well, see, that's fine, but you could get sick if you go out there. They're not making up the numbers in Arizona. They're not making up the numbers in Florida. I mean, that's really happening. Do I want to go out and see a concert? Would I love to go see Sammy Hagar? Oh my God, of course I would. Sammy's a cool guy. Vaccines have done more harm than, well, we have an autistic daughter here, and for years we were leery of vaccines because she became autistic after she got her shots. She's 22 years old. Please say it's not true. Is that Drum 72? And so we were leering. We did a lot of research, and we were involved with an MD who was doing a lot of research on vaccines. And we've never been anti-vaxxers, but let me tell you, we waited a few years before we got our son his vaccinations because of what happened with our daughter. And she's lovely. We love her. Danica, come over here and say hi. Come. 22 years old. Come here. Come say hi. Hi. You can't see you. Look there, say hi. Oh, look how pretty you are. Yeah, she still looks like you're so cute. She still looks like a little girl in some ways, because she is in some ways. Hi, Kevin Henry says, hi, I got a jam with Sammy once. Great dude. Yeah, I agree the world needs him, but let's not be irresponsible about it. And again, it's talk. He hasn't done it. I'm with Sammy too. Well, you see, a lot of people are, and I can understand that, but what's happening in the states where the numbers are going up? Like, what's going on with that? We're not going to have Sammy's not going to perform in Arizona. He's not going to perform in Texas. That's scary to me. That's really, really scary. And at one point where we are, the numbers were quite high, in the hundreds, but not in the thousands. And that's when it could spread really, really quickly. But I read that headline. I agree with Leland Sklar. I went, what the hell? And again, I love Sammy Hagar. I just love the guy. I like, he's like Billy Joel, no bull. We played the Copperstone before it closed. Miss those days. Drum 72. That's really cool. And I would think, like you met him. I'm with Casey. People have enough common sense to know whether or not to chance their health. Listen, all your points are valid. I just don't think, again, you want to. I hate when I have to say save people from themselves, because there's always a segment of the population that are incredibly impressionable, incredibly naive. And that's why I don't think that. But I appreciate all your feedback. Speak your mind, be who you are, tell us what your opinions are on this. I'm just saying that I was disappointed with what he said. Sammy might be hurting financially because he can't tour. Maybe, I don't know. I would like to see consistency from the so-called experts. Yeah, I hear you. We've been safe in Canada. We've been pretty good. Quebec had it pretty bad. No, Sammy is loaded. Is he loaded? Yeah, I would think he's probably got a lot of money. But listen, let's not forget, some people sometimes live beyond their means. Sold enough tequila. Yeah, that's true, eh? There was a friend of mine who was a doctor who had a lot of money, but he spent almost everything he had. So if you spend 90% of everything you have, it doesn't matter how much money you make, you still don't have that much left over. Mind you, if you're 10% of $10 million is a lot, right? There you go. So that's my spiel on that. I hope. Let me see what else he said. I'll get my iPad out. He says, we have to save the world in this country from this economic thing that's going to kill more people in the long run. I would rather see everyone go back to work. If some of us have to sacrifice, then it's okay. I will die for my children, my grandchildren, to have a life anywhere close to the life I've had in this wonderful country. And, he means it. I think he means it. Whether he would do it or not is another thing. And I've known people who've gotten this deadly disease. Yeah, common sense is not that common these days. I don't know what's going on. I worry about people, and do you think Sammy is just making this statement just to draw attention to himself? Possibly, and that's not what I meant, but possibly that's a possibility that he's bored and he was in the moment. I've interviewed thousands of people, man, in and out of music in 37 years in radio. And I knew sometimes when someone was saying something they're just fed up, they're in a bad mood, they've got a bad moment, they're vulnerable for whatever reason, and they'll say something. And you know how it is when you say something controversial, you even get a rise out of it. I would love to know how many have died from suicide since the pandemic started. I'm curious about that. You'd never know though, right? I don't think they'll release numbers like that. That's a really good point, though. We had some people when a few of the celebrities died in the last few months. COVID is not a disease. Diabetes is a disease. Okay. We've had some celebrities who died and then people come on there and say, well, it wasn't COVID-19. You know, if you're following some party line on conspiracy theories, then that's what you're going to do. I read something the other day about conspiracy theories that they don't come. There's not only, when people say, oh, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but I do like this one. They're always in pairs. Conspiracy theories are never alone. Anyone who says they only believe in one, it's very rare. And I know there's a lot of people who are dig your channel and approach, relaxing and professional. Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. Well, the big thing we try not to do is the rumors thing, and a lot of people like to spread rumors. I know of 4 suicides in the past 2 months. Is that right, Sean? Yeah. Yeah. Well, it has to get to some people on a primal level where they are so scared every single day. Sammy is a true capitalist. I appreciate all your comments. I mean, it doesn't matter what side you're on. Like I'm going, at some point, what changes people's minds is information, but that's not always the case. It's like a frustrated, the rest of us. You're right. I know some musician friends who are on the verge. It's hard for musicians. It's insane what they're having to go through. And I can understand, again, we don't know truly what's going on with Sammy. I have a lot of my friends who make a lot more money than me. Not to bring everyone down. Oh, that's okay. No, speak your truth, man. Who financially I thought were doing a lot better. They had big cars. Yes, not youngsters. You're right. Thanks, Sean. I have a lot of friends who you think they have a lot of money, I drive a fairly new BMW. People say, oh, you must have a lot of money. And I bought it used. It's not really worth that much. It's worth $30,000 maybe now. But it looks nice because I've always wanted one. And someone might see me and say, oh, that guy's got money. No. Most guys I know buy trucks. They're worth $70,000. That's where the real money goes. But people make assumptions on so I don't know how much money Sammy Hagar has. Hello from chiropractor office, waiting for my mom. Oh, are you? What happened to what? Henry, I didn't see that. Really enjoying your interview with Michael Fisher. Yes. And again, this is the interview with Roger Fisher, the lead guitarist of Heart during the heyday, I think the good day. Hagar has tons. He probably does. But ultimately, I don't think he said it for that reason. I think he just said it because he was in the moment, and that's how he feels. It doesn't mean he'll do it. Get any Jeff Beccaro stories to share? He was my idol. I was in LA when he died, and with my ex-girlfriend Andrea, and we were not getting along at all. Near the end of our relationship, great girl. That was a mess. So we were down there breaking up, and then we were having a picnic. I remember in LA, and it came on the radio. We were shocked. We drove all the way from Vancouver to California. At the end of a relationship, God bless her wherever she is. She's alive, but when you're going through a breakup. Guitar Center in San Jose. I found out in a Guitar Center in San Jose. Oh, really? Yeah. That was such a shock because you don't expect, honey, you put your volume down? My autistic daughter, she speaks through her iPhone. But she repeats a lot, right? It's like stimming. Danica, you have to put it down. Come and say hi again. I know you. Oh, you're beautiful. Come here. 22 years old, autistic and wonderful. Where are you? Can't see your face. Oh, look at, say hi. You're beautiful. Phone at 5, yes. She gets phone at 5 and she watches Barney the Purple Dinosaur from Hell. I love you. Barney. Hi. Drum 72. Yeah, hi. John has left a trail of broken hearts. I know. I talk about, some people say, you sure talk about your exes a lot. I don't know. I'm friends with all of them except one person. Like I'm Facebook friends with them, but I'm 60. I'm dated, and I was single for a lot of the 80s. She's a peach. Oh, thank you, Sean. I saw Jeff Beccaro light a cigarette, drink a beer, and not miss a beat. Really? Wow. Yeah, of course. Chase was downstairs today. He was doing. Chase, what were you doing? The halftime shuffle today? Yeah, Chase was doing some of the halftime shuffle today, and he learned it when he was 9 years old. She looks just like you, John. A lovely young lady. Steve, thank you. Sammy ain't crazy. Some people have to work and pay the bills. Yeah, yeah. No, again, I appreciate people just being honest and saying what they feel. That's great. The great story of him on his back at the baked potato fixing Vinny's hi-hat. Oh, is that right? Yeah, I love Vinny. Yeah. Some with uh, Sting. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's 72. What? No, he doesn't. What? Did I lose something? Um, Robin Fland's story in MD. I don't know what that means. Like a flam, like a drumming? Yeah. I drummed for quite a few years myself, and that's why I interview a lot of drummers. I don't necessarily go out of my way to it just turned out that way. So endless quarantine is the answer. No, I don't know what the answer is, but if you want to do if you want us to get an immunity to this and all go out there, people aren't going to want to do that. You know, it all go out there, and some of us die, and then we'll have a tribe immunity to it. Hey, Jeff Beck is 76 today. Oh, is that right? Blow by Blow, Jeff Beck. God, I love that album. Oh, what's your favorite? Speaking, we're going off topic a little bit, but what's your favorite, Jeff Beck? 4,000 new cases in Florida is why. Yeah, Florida was scary. I wake up and I watch the news immediately when I have my quad cappuccino. Keith Moon or John Bonham? John Bonham. I love music, but no thanks. Yeah, I love live music, but no Blue Wind. Hey, cool. I've been going back there and back. I've been going back to some Jeff Beck lately. And I've also been listening to stuff that I might have missed in the 70s and 80s. Rough and Ready. Yeah. You know, I love you guys. I love you. I love the information you have. I love the fact that you're well informed. I like that. Good morning, John from Tasmania, Australia. Hey, hi. You were here yesterday, right? I remember. Beck's Bolero, yeah. I appreciate all of your feedback. Thank you so much. We go off topic a little bit when we do this. Sometimes I don't, and this is a nicer way of doing it because you're involved immediately. Sometimes I don't feel like sitting in front of a camera and just doing a story. I'd rather you guys I'll tell the story, and I'll give you the headlines, and you guys come on and Beck, Paige Clapton, yes. I've never been a biggest Clapton fan. You know, believe it or not, it's embarrassing. Slow Hand, Derek and the Dominoes I bought, but after that, Slow Hand was the next album I bought. I would go see Hagar right now. Yeah, there you go. This is brilliant. What we're going to start doing is doing more of these where I go on camera. I don't mind just going on camera. And that way we can talk and communicate with each other a little bit because of what we're all going through. They did an album. I missed that. Sorry, I can't always see because hello again, Kirk Randall from Joshua Tree, California. Oh, cool. I've never been there. I've been to many areas in California because I love California. I love America. I'm a Canadian. But the majority of the hits for this video channel come from the United States. That's why I've always loved Americans. I get along with them. Chase, can you give your phone to Danica, please? Yeah, because she has to go on Bernie. My daughter needs to go on Bernie videos, and I'm using my phone right now. Yeah, Chase is going to bring you his phone. Chase, you have to do it now because I'm live streaming in the... Thank you. You rock, brother. Thank you, Kirk. Thanks, man. And again, you know, it's important for people to just speak their minds, you know. Sammy came out on stage and jammed with my friends on my friend's song. Blew our minds. Wow. See, Sammy's such a cool guy. And I've always liked him over David Lee Roth. I mean, as far as hanging around, would you want to hang around David Lee Roth more than Sammy Hagar? I mean, the heyday of Van Halen, even though they sold a lot in the 80s with Sammy, I know. But the real heyday for me was the beginning, like Running with the Devil from the first album. I remember when I first heard that, I'm going, whoa! You know? Sammy's the best tequila drinker ever. Yeah, he has to be, right? He better be. That's the truth. And again, but I'd rather hang around. I'd Montrose, yeah. I'd rather hang out with Sammy Hagar though, because to me, David Lee Roth seems a little off. Met them both. I don't know. I'm losing my train of thought. He's the coolest vibe all day long, though. Me too, Sammy. Yeah. How many of you would go right now? Would you go right now? It depends what state you're in, though. I mean, there's certain places you just don't want to get out, right? Sammy doesn't have a care in the world. Plus, his wife Carrie is very nice too. I went out with a girl named Carrie with that spelling. She's a school teacher, a school principal in Portland. No and yes. People, would you go see Sammy today? But where are you? Tell me where you're at. Like, what state are you in, and what state is the state in right now? Given your jazz radio, oh, I missed that. Can you post that again? Sorry, post that again about Michigan, Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. Never been there. Shit. Oh, you're Wisconsin, Ottawa. Ottawa's the only major city in this country that I've never been to. Check out the worldwide death tolls. Michigan is cleaning up. Yeah, I worry about people. I'm one of those people. Philadelphia is open Friday. Is that right? Never been to Philly. One of the reasons I wanted to move out east is to go to more the mid to eastern states and visit them before I leave this earth. Just I absolutely can't believe I'm at, but I don't know why I said it. Sean Roth's solos, St. Pete, Florida. Around the end of the 90s, I think he fell down, pissed his pants. Really? I've never done that. I used to have a friend who used to piss his pants every night from drinking too much. Given the jazz roots, you interviewed Peter White. Yes. I interviewed Peter White maybe, ask me tomorrow, I'll say 3 times. I think maybe 5 times. And of course, we talked about Al Stewart. I was backstage at the Canadian Smooth Jazz Awards. I was the co-chair of the Canadian Smooth Jazz Awards. I still own jazzawards.com, CanadianSmoothJazzAwards.com. John, do you think you could interview the surviving members of the Byrds? I've tried. I have tried, but not in a while, and I could try. But anyway, we're sitting backstage standing up backstage at the Canadian Smooth Jazz Awards, and Peter White's there, and we were talking about Genesis, and he says, yeah, I when I was a kid, I'd go see Genesis, a teenager, I'd go see Genesis at town halls, with Peter Gabriel. And I went, that's so cool. He says, yeah, there was hardly anybody there. But he really dug Genesis. So that's Peter White, who played, of course, with Al Stewart for so many years, and he is an amazing man. And I could interview him again. I still have Peter's, unless he's changed it, Peter's cell phone number in my phone. Well, this phone here that I'm using. Grew up on Al Stewart. My dad loves him. Yeah, on the border. That has such a ominous kind of feel, Peter Green is better. Oh yeah, Peter Green. Believe it or not, I know he's not in a mental condition. Peter Green, if people have forgotten, on the border. Yeah, Peter. His mental state's not quite there, but I still asked for an interview. I knew I wouldn't get it, but of course, from Fleetwood Mac, the early Fleetwood Mac days, a genius guitarist. I mean, really listen to his stuff. You go, how did he do that? Like, how did he come up with that idea? Like, what angle? He's looking at the center of a pie from it. Would be a great interview. Al Stewart. I have an interview of Al Stewart from 1984 downstairs. I didn't do it. Remember, I always talk about those interviews that my friend Steve Burgess gave me. They all sound like this, though. I've got to bake them, and it takes forever, and it's just an arduous task. I want to present them to you. I've got so many interviews down there. from so many people who were big in the 80s. A lot of them are Canadian. And if they didn't cross over to the United States, I'll put them on the Canadian channel. Saw Al and Robbie Robertson. Really? Al Stewart and Robbie Robertson? That'd be quite a combination. I like Robbie's whiskey-soaked voice. Peter Green was probably Fleetwood Mac's best vocalist too. Yeah, he had a different type of, too many coming by. Same here, Sean. Saw the tour in 1990. Do you think Cetera is really done singing? He'll do one-offs now and then, I think. Wonder if Sammy is willing to sacrifice his wife, child, and the economy. Well, he said that. He didn't mention his wife, but he said family. Rockenfield and Queen's Right. Is he all right? I've never heard a thing. I'm with Queen's Right. I'm not. Boys Brigade. The song Melody is great. Oh my God! Oh my God! I can't believe you brought that up. Boys Brigade. Yeah, Melody. Yeah, I remember that song. What was the big hit they had before Melody? I remember 6:30 Ched used to play. I love it. 6:30 Ched used to play the hit by Boys Brigade. We don't have an interview with him. I'm out cocktails with my wife, no mask. Okay, Sean. Where are you though? Where are you? I can't keep track of everybody. Passion of Love by Boys Brigade. Yeah, it was a hit. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I was at a wedding that played, I missed that. Sammy and his wife and children to think about. Yeah, he does. So let's see what, it doesn't change my mind. Philadelphia. Oh, I love Philly. Want to go to Philly. Want to climb those. Dun, 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 dun. I want to climb those stairs where Rocky is on top. You going, what the hell's going on with John Beaudin? He's lost it. We used to say he's lost the can. Canadian. We used to say that in New Brunswick. Canadian saying, lost the can. What the hell does that mean? I'm just playing too. We don't know how Sammy feels. Hey, yes. So I can empathize with him on that level. I'm worried about people who are very naive or impressionable or I'm worried about people like that. And it's not like you love them any less, but there are people who just sometimes listen to their idols a little too much. How do you spend money to support your channel? How do you send money? There's you can super chat us on this. You can super chat button. I'm not sure where it is. If you ever want to send money to support our channel, it's just a super chat. Have you interviewed Frank Marino? No, but so many people are asking me. Jonathan with Jeff Woods. Isn't Jeff Woods? Check out, guys. Look my name up and Jeff Woods. There's 3 videos. 1 on this channel, 2 on the other channel, by the way. If you have missed it, they'll probably haul the Rocky statue away. No, they better not. That whole statue thing. I'm not gonna get into that. Everything is canceled in 2020. Sammy should just chill and relax. I agree. Drummers are responsible for making ladies dance. Yes, I missed the last part of that. I'm sorry. Well, we're a house of drummers here. That's what we do. We love our drummers in this house. Hey, Chase, you want to drum for us? Yeah, it's okay. You can do it next time. He's got his girl. He's got his girlfriend with him. COVID cases are like at 20 or 30 here, so it's not like we're pretty safe. But I feel for people, and when I watch the news, have you interviewed Peter Wolf? No, I'd like to, and talk about Faye Dunaway. No, is it Faye Dunaway? No, what was his the actress? It's Faye Dunaway, right? Peter Wolf dated for a long time. Yeah, Faye Dunaway. They were quite a couple. He had seemed like a really cool guy. If anybody knows him, I want to interview Simon Phillips, but I don't want to bug the guy. We were trying. Simon Phillips is my favorite drummer of all time. Faye Dunaway is correct. Thank you. I appreciate that, Steve. I love him so much. I love his work. I love the fact that Simon is the man. I have his phone number in this phone that we're using to film this, and I talked to him. I texted him. His manager said, another obscure song, Pucka Orchestra. Yeah, listen to the radio. Yeah. We have an interview with 1 or 2 people from the Pucka Orchestra downstairs. I saw him with Toto, and his pocket did not move. It was amazing. Yeah, love Simon. Well, I'll text him. What's the project he's doing? He was doing the Weather Report. Was he doing Weather Report? Really awesome, man. I think Simon was doing Weather Report. I'm pretty sure. Dylan Young CD plus need check out the Dion album Blues and Friends. Oh my God, thank you. Because Joel Diamond is handling it. Joel Diamond, who was a behind the scenes guy. No, Joel. I interviewed him. Unfortunately, at the end of the interview, which is why I switched to Mac. The interview, he looked like a Smurf. It's not no disrespect to Joel at all, but he was purple in the face, and something happened, and I've got to fix the interview where Joel talks about Tony Orlando and Don, and a lot of people behind the scenes, and they're great stories. And Joel's an interesting man, and the interview, he froze up in the interview as well. So the second half, he's frozen. I might just do it again. Joel Diamond sent me a link. He said, "Hey, do you want to interview Dion?" And I went, "Yeah." And I completely forgot about it because I got overwhelmed because I've got so many things going on right now. But anyway, yeah, to answer the person's question, if someone ever wants to donate to our channel, there should be an area where it's super chat on here. You just press it and you can do that. We can also do a PayPal thing. I might do that too. Have you interviewed? I can't even pronounce that. I don't know who that is. I got the Kingdom Desire tour, Simon, just getting rolling with Toto. Yeah. I'll have to communicate with him. He was trying to make it work, and I was trying to make it work before COVID happened. And at one point he said, Simon Phillips, at one point Simon said, "I'll do it in the back of the limousine if you want," on the way to the airport. And I went, "I don't really want to interview you in that situation. I'd rather just kind of have you relaxed." And he went, "No problem." And he said, "Well, call me next week." And then he said, "I've only got 3 days." And I thought, okay, you're too busy. I just decided not to contact him again, though I have his cell phone number in this phone. Mike Picaro, too. I am thinking of him. Yeah, the Picaro family went through an awful lot of this. I know that Steve Picaro I talked to him a little while ago. Not all are still like that, but the Toto guys, I can text them and say, "Hey, what's going on? Hey, Luke, how you feeling?" Jeff's son too. Yeah, Jeff's son, we lost him too. Music of Weather Report show. I performed Simon Phillips. It's disappearing. I can't see it. One of the greatest drummers ever. You guys can see I don't necessarily have to read these out loud all the time because you guys can see them just like I can see them. Hi from Buffalo. Hey, Dan. Dan Page. Dan Page sounds like a superhero's name. I'm Dan Page. I like your name. What am I watching? This came up as recommended. We're talking about Sammy Hagar. We just got off topic a little bit. Sammy Hagar is saying he'd do a concert and he's willing to sacrifice himself and or his family. Paraphrasing, of course. Sipakara interviews are great. Steve. We're going to take the Steve Picaro long interview, which is the highest rated Friday Night Live we've ever had. We're going to put that up. We're going to put it out in $150 was a good album of $150. It looked like it's 501. 5150. OU812 is my favorite. The last concert I saw was Sammy Hagar, Full Circle, back in February. What was that like? I would go see that. Sammy's just a cool guy. Again, my point with this video is just that you have to watch what you say for people who may not be that safe and think that it's a hoax. Steve is also the man. I love his songs, the Toto albums. Yeah, Leah. I thought Steve was singing Leah in the beginning. And Joseph gets that an awful lot. Hi, John. How are you? Has there been a Friday Night Live in the last few weeks? No, there has not. We haven't done one. I think it's just the stress of getting someone to go on the show. Don't get me wrong. Only one person turned me down. One person turned me down for every time I asked. Our channel has a good reputation because we don't spread lies. And this is in San Antonio, and it was an awesome show. Oh, I don't think Sammy said he would put. Yeah, let's see what he said. I think you were talking about his family. He said, read it again. Let me see. Okay. You're probably right. I'll be comfortable playing a show if there's a vaccine show before there's a vaccine, if it's declining and it seems to be going away, remarked Hagar. I'm going to make a radical statement here. This is hard to say without stirring somebody up, but truthfully, I'd rather personally get sick and even die if that's what it takes. That's what Sammy said. And then he added, I'm getting this from Consequence of Sound. I know it was a Rolling Stone interview. Sorry if someone's saying something. I can't read it right now. We have to save the world in this country from this economic thing that's going to kill more people in the long run. I would rather see everyone go back to work. If some of us have to sacrifice, then it's okay. I will die for my children and my grandchildren. That's what he said. Sorry about that. To have a life, a better life in this wonderful country. Blah, blah, blah. What else did he say? That's just the way I feel about it. I'm not going to go around spreading the disease, but there may be time where we have to sacrifice. I mean, how many people die on the earth every day? Okay, that's just a crazy generalization, but anyway, I had no idea. I'm sorry to say, but we all gotta die, man. Yeah, he's just itching to get out. That's what I think. It's such a needless statement. Puts his fans at risk. It's a statement that puts, I think, the weaker people, and I hate to say that out loud, but the people who are impressionable. There's so many people who are. We all have friends who go, "Hey, Bobby's a jerk." Yeah, that's right, he's a jerk. Someone else goes, "Bobby's really nice." That's right, he's really nice. I have people in my life like that. They're so impressionable. They'll just go with the flow. I'm going, okay, sure. I'm itching to see a concert. Alfredo. So am I. So am I. I would love to do some kind of outdoor show, the drive-in stuff. That doesn't sound appealing to me. The drive-in thing. I know I said it out loud the other day. I'm going, oh yeah, I'd like to see a drive-in show. It'd be kind of cool. Then I kind of changed my mind about it all the time. Have you interviewed Steve Lukather? Oh my God, yes. Look up my name. Look up Steve Lukather in the history of this. I've interviewed him twice. And I've talked to him numerous times. I talked to Steve off and on. Sammy Hagar would rather die from coronavirus. Okay, I missed that. Sorry. Comes up and it goes away just like that. Haha, freaks. Drum 72. Okay, I'm not sure. What you're responding to something I don't know, Mr. Drummer. We love you because we're drummers in this house as well. Hi, Danica. Yeah, Daddy's. No one is forcing you to buy a ticket. If you aren't comfortable, yeah, but it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that because if you get infected, you're gonna infect other people. It's not just, oh, it's my body, I'll do what I want. It's never that simple. I miss the Tom Cochran days. Yeah. Used to go to them. Did you used to go to the NAMM shows? No, I've never been to NAMM, ever. In my life, I was planning on going. My son and I were gonna go. Either this year or next, but anyway. I can say I've spent some time with Sammy, and he's just the kind of guy, he's a lifer. He thinks he's exaggerating. Okay, I missed it. Sorry, I can't read that fast. As I'm getting older, I'm reading slower. Man, some of the best memories and the craziest stuff I've ever seen. It's strange, in the 80s, I didn't drink at all. I didn't even think of drinking. I wasn't partying back then. I was supposed to attend a stadium show with Joan Jett, Poison, Def Leppard, Motley Crue last Sunday. At NAMM shows. What about NAMM shows? I've never been to NAMM shows. I missed that. At least blah blah blah. I don't know what you said there. I want to see the Doobie Brothers live again. I saw them on their farewell tour. Michael McDonald was on there. The only person I couldn't see on stage because I was close to the stage was Michael McDonald. I interviewed. I missed that again. Sammy is right. It's time to get back to work. I know, but not if it's unsafe. You can't just say, I'm going to go back to work and that's it. They announced new dates. People are sending me stuff on my, Keith, my friend Keith is texting me. Keith is one of the biggest supporters. Keith has bought many t-shirts from our channel, but some people don't want to buy t-shirts and they just say, I'm going to start putting, after this video is finished, I'll put a PayPal link. If anybody wants to donate to the channel, we'd appreciate it. You don't have to. If you want to, it certainly help us buy. We're trying to buy some new lighting right now. some lighting where I don't see. This is perfect because I'll show you. This is perfect because if you ever want to do a video, you stand in front of a see right here. That's just a window. It's beautiful here today. But see, there's a dog sleeping. But you stand in front of a window like that and you get pretty much perfect lighting. And I was interviewing a female doggies, yeah. And I told her, just stand in front of the light. And she was an older lady, and the interview is not up yet. I'm not gonna tell you who it is. And she said, well, I'm concerned about my age. And I said, I don't blame you. Frankly, people are missing the point. Sammy was saying he'd sacrifice himself and his family. Well, he didn't say for his family, yeah. I work every day with people and did test positive for COVID-19. Oh, is that right? That tested positive, right? Well, I don't know. There's a lot of disturbing videos every single day from people. Sammy said a joke. I don't think he said it. Why? Are they saying that now? Are they? Because my friend Keith just texted me just texted me here. I'm gonna see what Keith says. I'm gonna text him right now. Let me text him, and I'll see what he says, and we'll get Keith. I know what he meant. Okay, I'm gonna tell him. We are live now, talking about it, and I'll see what Keith is always talking. Thank you. Whatever that was, I missed it. Sorry. Am I still on? By the way, can you still hear me? Keith will come on in a second. Riots and protests are immune to COVID, but concerts and events, yeah. But the protest, I've noticed a lot of people are wearing masks. Yes, all good. Drum 72. Would I protest? No, not if I think I'm going to die. I'm not going to do that. And yes, clearly, thank you. My wife has an autoimmune disease. She has pernicious anemia. She's allergic to B12. That's dumbing it down a little bit, but if she got it, it would not be good. Our son needs puffers. The most live, April Wine. I've seen April Wine 7 times live. They were my favorite Canadian band. So if Shannon gets it, she'd most likely be a goner. And anyone who's seen Shannon on Friday Night Live, she looks like she's 27 years old. This virus is not a joke. Take us here. April Wine is great. Yeah. April Wine only had a few hits in the U.S. Just between You and Me, Roller, You Could Have Been a Lady was a hit in the U.S. But they had numerous. Night Ranger, I've seen them 15 times. Wow, I almost had an interview with them a couple of years ago. But I was offered the interview and then they canceled it. I went, okay, sure. Great live show. April Wine with Jerry Mercer on drums. He's not with them anymore. 42 new cases of COVID-19 in Delaware. 1 death. Oh, is that right? Thanks for the information. I didn't know. Your favorite metal band? I do not like metal. I'm not a metal fan at all. I like some of the newer prog bands that sound metal. Yeah, some of them are kind of cool. It's strange how April Wine isn't played on classic rock radio nowadays. I don't know why, but sometimes it's because of testing. People test music, right? I work for the #1 radio station in Vancouver, the adult radio station in Vancouver, QMFM, and we test the living hell out of music. I don't do it because I live in Calgary. I do my show long distance. The Cars, I've seen the Cars, yeah, only once with, I think, Gamma Rocks. So I don't know what I was talking about. Sammy is conservative. Is Sammy a conservative? Is he? I didn't know. You're a lucky man. Thank you. Ben Orr was gone way too early. Ben Orr, that was shocking. Yeah, you look like Robert Downey Jr. I get that sometimes. Believe it or not, I used to get it more when I was younger and I didn't have the facial hair. And I had the facial hair before Robert Downey Jr. Then I got rid of it and I brought it back. And because I thought if that looks good on him, I'm sure going to look good on me. Plus, I look very generic without my facial hair. It's just the way it goes. I look so generic. I just looks like dumb Tony Stark look. Yeah. Well, he doesn't have this look anymore, so Stay the Night, that was Ben's solo tune. You do look like, yeah. I get Robert Downey Jr. Not as much anymore as I'm getting older, because I'm aging more than he is. I'm older than he is, I think, by 2 years. I'm not trying to look like him at all. But Republicans being the color of blood. Okay, Iron Man. There we go. We opened it up. We talked about Robert Downey Jr. Oh my God. My wife once thought of emailing him. She had a way to get a hold of him. Sneaker. Yeah, I barely remember Sneaker. And asking him to go, I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music, to see if someone would notice. Of course people would notice, because if you put Robert Downey Jr. beside me, we were not going to look alike. You know, if I was actually beside the guy, you'd probably go, you don't look like him at all. Someone said dress as Robert Downey Jr. for Halloween once, and I go, oh my God, if I went out there and decided to tell people that I looked like him, it would backfire on me and I'd look like a freaking fool. I would. You can't do that. So no, I know it's going to come up. I've never dressed as Iron Man ever for Halloween. You ever watch Soul Train? Yes. Yeah, my family wasn't that big into soul music. I discovered it mostly after, and the local radio station didn't play a lot of it either. Sneaker, More Than Just the Two of Us. Yeah, I don't remember. I had an album. I got it from Delete Bins, though. Remember the Delete Bins? All right, where is Larry Gowan? Larry Gowan just made a statement on the internet. I didn't listen to it, but Still Buddies, Jebediah Stain. I don't know who that is. Who's that? Jimmy Buffett. Ever seen him? No, but my son was playing at a jam once, and before the jam, there was a Jimmy Buffett tribute band, and I couldn't believe the place was sold out. I mean, you know, you start understanding like the power of Jimmy Buffett and his brand, right? And how everything Jimmy Buffett, it's like Todd Rundgren sometimes. Todd's not done it as well as Jimmy Buffett, and I'm a bigger Todd Rundgren fan. But I couldn't believe the place was completely sold out, and my son at the time was 9 or 10. Cutout bins used to be big in the U.S. Yeah. We call them deleted. Your favorite YouTube channel outside of yours? I don't listen. I don't watch other people do what I do. I like there's a guy who talks about how to grow your YouTube channel, but not what I do, you know. And no, I don't watch the guy with the sunglasses. He just angers me, like, because he just comes up with, you know, I don't know where he comes up with this stuff, but he's just making stuff up just to get hits, and I don't want to do that. I've only seen Todd once in Blaine, Washington. I said this before on this channel. Todd went on screen and said, "Hi, it's nice to be here in Blaine." He said it that way. I'm going, oh God, the place was small. A possibility of interviewing Rick Emmett again? Sure. Rick Wharton, if anybody you know Rick Wharton, the comedian, he used to handle and work with Rick Emmett. And Rick Wharton and I are Facebook friends, and he tried to get me a Glass Tiger interview when they were celebrating their anniversary, but it fell through. The sunglasses guy is a joke. Yeah, let's not mention him. Yeah, I can't. I'm not going to say that. I know stuff, man. So lost my train of thought. I'm lucky to have seen Rush, Journey, AC/DC, Kiss, and Yes. Wow, I've never seen Rush. I saw Rush once. I've never seen Yes. I've never interviewed Geddy Lee. Many people we have a connection with Geddy Lee, a mutual connection. Rush multiple times. Yeah, I only saw them once. Farewell to Kings. What was it? I forget what album it was. Did you ever interview Atlanta Miles? No, I'm almost scared to. A friend of mine interviewed Atlanta Miles, and she was in a bad mood. But she could have had a bad day. How about Lindsey Buckingham? I don't think he's talking to anybody. Lindsey Buckingham, it would be advantageous for him to talk to Rolling Stone. He's not going to talk to me. Love signals, yeah. He's not, it's weird. It's like Don Henley's wife loves my channel. She's emailed me personally and told me she likes my work. She might have watched the videos because she wanted to make sure that I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't want to say anything. But she's watched my interviews. Gowan is with Styx. Yes. Yeah, we all know that. Gowan is great. Yes, he is. Very, very great. Atlanta Miles could have a great, but she got her in her own way. Yeah. Alana Miles, that was a disappearing act. Didn't she date Jimmy Page for a short time? Or went to a few things with Jimmy Page, Alana Miles? And she looked like she had that look where you didn't want to cross her. Robert Plant? Was it Robert Plant? Okay. Alana Miles just had that kind of look that she didn't suffer fools, man. You know, like Billy Joel's like that. And there's a few artists that are like that. You tread lightly. I'd open for Styx back in the day as well. Todd is another monster drummer. Yes, he is. My son really likes him. Seen Rush every tour since Power Windows. Oh, good for you. That's cool. She opened for him, yada, yada, yada. Oh, okay. Stopped her. Oh, Kim Mitchell, gotta love his anti-drunk driving. I never saw that. I never saw that with Kim Mitchell. A new Randy Meisner interview would be great. I don't think Randy's going to talk to anybody. I knew a connection. That's how I got that interview. That's a gold mine. That interview has gotten, I don't know, 1.5 million hits. I like the thing you do. Yeah. I saw Alana Miles opening up for Kim Mitchell. And I sometimes forget that. What about Amanda Marshall? She's got a new album. She's working on a new album. It's supposed to come out this year, but she hasn't released an album in a lot of years, which means her saying this year means nothing. When a person hasn't released an album in a lot of years and they say it's coming out next year, doesn't mean anything. So, and plus with COVID-19, please interview Ted Nugent. It's not really on my list, but he'd be really juicy, wouldn't he? Wouldn't Ted Nugent be really juicy? Like he'd be telling you stuff, man, because he has no filter. And people like that are always good interviews. And Ted Nugent is known as a great interview. David Henschel talks about producing both Tony Banks and Mike Rutherford. That just came up on my Keith says he can't find me. Hold on, I got look up. Hold on, sorry guys. Sammy Hagar and my name. And Rock, sorry guys, I got to get Keith on here. Rock History Music. Yeah, there you go. Any surprising interviews coming up? John Helliwell of Supertramp is coming up. And I won't tell you who it is, but someone from Blue Oyster Cult. Cowbell, please. Cowbell. Don't fear the Reaper. Blue Oyster Cult is coming up tomorrow. It won't be live, though. Have you seen Brian Ferry? No, I'd like to interview Brian Ferry. He seems like a sort of a reefer. This is coming in way too fast. We get a lot of people watching. Hallucinations. The kid goes into the fridge and hallucinates. Fun video to watch. Which video is that? Again, Frank Marino. I have a way of contacting Frank Marino. Mahogany Rush. I've not done an interview in a little while, except Friday Night Live, because they're so all-encompassing and they take so much work. In most videos, sad news, Bonnie Pointer died from cardiac arrest. Yes, we did a video on that. I interviewed, I had an interview with Rick Wakeman set up and it fell through because the promoter who promised me he didn't follow through. Might as well go for a soda. Yes, Kim Mitchell. Rockland is my favorite Kim Mitchell song. And the guy who drums on that, I forget his name, he was with ARW. He's the same guy. Great drummer. Who is the guy? Have you interviewed John Anderson? Nope, another interview that fell through. The only people from Yes that I've interviewed are the drummers. Yes, both series of Bill Bruford was my favorite, and Bill was great. Was a guitar tech for David Pattison of Gamma. Trower would be interesting. You guys have some interesting people you want me to interview. Interesting people. I'm just being really choosy on who I interview. Supertramp in concert, yes, twice. Saw them twice. I love them. They were a great band. And John Helliwell will be on this channel within the month. Alan White, thank you. I couldn't think of his name. Could you tell? I couldn't think of his name. Yeah, I interviewed them both. Alan White, though, unfortunately, and no disrespect to Alan White, Davy Johnston, I've tried so many times. From Elton John band, by the way. Because Alan White talks like this. And it's not his fault. I mean, that's just the way nurture nature. That's just the way his voice, and he sounds like an older man. And he mumbles a little bit, and I had to transcribe the entire interview. Look up Rock History Music, Alan White. And he talks about John Lennon. It's great. Talks about Bill Bruford. Great stories. Oh my God, Peter Gabriel releasing a new album. I interviewed, see my brain. What's the name of the bass player? Famous, plays the stick, the Chapman stick. Anyway, interviewed him. Someone will tell me. Peter Gabriel's bassist, his name is, I just did a video on him with Jerry Murata, Tony Levin. Thank you, Sean. You're the man. I tell you, my brain. And it was right after 9/11, and I mentioned this a few times. Sorry if you've heard it before. And Tony said his wife was at the time. I don't think she's his wife anymore. I think he switched to another model. No disrespect. And he was worried about his wife during 9/11. So I asked him then. I said, "What about the new album with Peter Gabriel?" And he says, "Oh, we never know when that's going to happen. We just never know because that's it's an arduous task for him. He likes doing it. He works really slowly. He gets projects and throws it away. And I should find that clip. I still got it someplace. It's on cassette someplace. Esteban. No, I haven't. So Peter Gabriel, I don't know. He might never release anything else. Martin Barr, yeah. Martin Barr is, I've been told to wait about that. Hi, please ask Johnny Halliwell to bring back Roger Hodgson in Supertramp. Yeah, he knows that question's coming. We've got 2 interviews with John Halliwell, which we've released. Look up the top 25 Supertramp songs on Rock History Book, our sister channel, where we've got, or it's either that or the top 11 Supertramp albums, where we have John Halliwell. Doogie's on there as well. I truly hope Rush is done. They were great. I don't think Rush is done. I'm going to be one of those people who say there's too much left in them. And Caleb Coy was a great interview. Thanks. Yeah, 2 interviews on our channel on Caleb Coy, Elton John's original major guitarist. Someone had said the other day on the channel, well, he wasn't really in the Elton John band. Yes, he was in the Elton John. I know he was in Hookfoot, but he was in the Elton John band. And he considers himself to be a former member of the Elton John band. So sometimes people are nitpicky like that. They'll just go, like I did the Caleb Coy thing, and someone said, is better without Supertramp? I don't know how many people would, a lot of people just, everyone likes a reunion. Everyone loves a reunion. It doesn't mean the band loves them. Do you like the new Dennis DeYoung album? I've refused to listen to it because I was pissed off I didn't get the interview. Sorry, it makes me ignorant. I know. I only heard that one song. It's okay. I'm a huge Dennis DeYoung fan, but I'm going, come on, he's right in our wheelhouse. But see, Dennis DeYoung created his own YouTube channel, and he did really well on his YouTube channel. And he started realizing, and I don't blame him on some levels, that he could just do the press himself just by going on and singing and promoting his album. He didn't really need to do it, but I think he should have done it. Why? Because I wanted an interview. That's why he should have done it. Come on. We've got 2 interviews with his replacement. Nigel Olsson, ex-girlfriend, is my friend, Josie. Oh, is that right? Could you give me his number? I've been told that, can you say that again? The Karate Kid thing, I missed it. Could just copy and paste what you just said if you can. I've been told Nigel Olsson's not the best interview. Nothing against Nigel. I'd love to interview him, but he doesn't go out like he'll say, oh yeah, that song. Yeah, well, I did the timing like this, and he doesn't elaborate that much, but maybe it depends upon who's talking to him. There are some people are trying to find the Karate Kid movie, but nobody, oh God, too many people are talking at the same time. Best YouTube music performance from quarantine. I'd say one of the best is Suzanne Vega. No, I haven't heard from Steve Winwood at all. I hired a girl whose dad replaced Steve Winwood in the Spencer Davis group. Emma Harding. would Journey with only Kane and Sean? Would you? I don't know. The reason I said that yesterday about Journey is I just say give the guys a chance. I mean, they've given us an awful lot, and that's why the Journey thing. That's why with Sammy, I'm going, okay, that was kind of a kooky thing to say, but ABBA would never. Well, ABBA would never do an interview with me in a million years. They're going to do 1 or 2 interviews. No Journey. Oh, Keith is here. Keith, what have you heard about Sammy Hagar's camp? Is there anything new on that? Because I just looked it up and there was nothing new. Personally, I want to see Getty and Lovesongs with one final project. So do I. Keith says no, there's nothing new on that. They're not going to say like, oh, he was joking. I don't think he was joking. And he's going to get a lot of flack for what he said because people are really sensitive these days. And don't get me wrong, I agree with most of the things that are going on. I really do. I have a lot of conservative friends. I'm a liberal. I just know he's no Trump. Life's only. I got to get into Trump. Please, I don't want to talk about him. Anyway, Fisher Brothers series has been great. Hey Chase, how many parts left on the Fisher Brothers? I think we've got 6 more parts. Chase does a lot of it now. When you buy a T-shirt, you give Chase money because we've had to let go the other 2 people. Then there was one person. Okay, there you go, Cherry. I'm not going to repeat that because that ain't going to happen. Anyway, do not interview Uncle Ted. Oh, Ted Nugent. Yeah, Uncle Ted. Yeah. No, I've interviewed a lot of Republicans, people who are Republican musicians. Isn't Mark Farner a Republican? I'm pretty sure he is. He seems like a God-fearing kind of guy, and in that vein. And I had no disrespect for him. You're lost your influence, Cherry. Okay. So, I wouldn't say no to interviewing someone unless I thought Mark Farner is rad. Yeah, Mark Farner was such a great interview. The Genesis reunion will still happen. Yeah, they're running out of time with. They're still going to rock with Narada and Randy. I think Journey will. Mike Portnoy, no. I'd like to interview Mike Portnoy. I can't say my words today. My words ain't coming out. Stevie Nicks. I don't think I'll ever get Stevie Nicks. How about Stuart Copeland? I communicated with Stuart on Facebook privately just once. People are looking for villains. Sammy isn't one of them. I don't think he is either. But I think what he said was a little crazy. Gentle Giant is a great band. I interviewed Derek Shulman. Look up Derek Shulman on my channel. You'll find an interesting interview. Rick Davies' manager's wife supposedly came between Hodgson and yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, Dean. Interview Dean. I'm not sure. I think he'd be an amazing interview. See him when he's in his car and he's singing. See that? That is such a cool thing, and the guy sounds like Steve Perry. David Page of Toto. I talked to David. He sent me a nice letter. Paul Roberts sniffing the tears. I don't know how to get a hold of him. They still around? I interviewed Noel McCalla, who was their backup singer, who sang on Small Creeps Day. Anyway, Paige. Paige sent me a letter out of nowhere because of Steve Porcaro. And David Page said, thanks, John, for all the kind video you put out, because when we thought he was sick or whatever he had, I know what it is, I can't say. He got off the road, and anyway, we said a get well. I got all the fans together for a get well thing. Sam is, I missed that. Rick Emmett. Okay, I'm going to have to get Rick Emmett. Too many people are asking. I'll see. Maybe we can get him on Friday Night Live. How about during an interview with Tony Levin about interview? Oh, yeah. I should get Tony again. He was such a great interview. Interviewed him a couple of times. Eric Johnson? No. God, I haven't thought of Eric Johnson in a long time. Mike Reno? I have interviewed Mike Reno. Nice guy. He says he can't fit into those leather pants anymore. And he says, the bandana, he said, I couldn't even put that bandana on now. My head's bigger. So there you go. Mike Reno, I might try to track him. Cheap Trick, no. But I've never tried, I don't think. Sometimes I forget. Mark Farner is a conservative, and John Farnham is conservative by UK, by not US standards. Oh, I didn't know that about John Farnham. Michael Schenker, I've interviewed Michael Schenker. I only lasted 7 minutes. He got mad at me because he couldn't hear me. It's not his fault. I know he's a temperamental guy and an amazing guitarist. Oh my God. Anyway, he was mad because he couldn't hear me. He kept saying, I can't hear you. I said, I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong with the phone. And then I just said, okay, we got enough. You said that he has a spiel that he talks about his creativity, and he says it in almost all his interviews. Steve Howe, no one ever interviewed Steve Howe. And he just basically did I said, just tell me about your music and what you're doing right now. And he just went on. David Coverdale, John Sykes, no. Bunny Carlos, yes, very underrated. Bunny. I'd like to interview him. He'd probably have a lot to say considering he's not in the band anymore. Yeah, that was weird that he is no longer with that band. I met Steve Hagar. He's a great vocalist, better human being. Arnell, however, sounds more like Steve Perry. Yeah, good drummer for sure. Yeah, Steve is, yeah. I'm Facebook friends with him, I think, or I follow him. Tony Ricker, band ZZ Top, no. Neil Finn, no. I don't know who that is. Giles Martin, I don't know who that is. Steve Vai, oh, I'd love to interview Steve Vai. And he's an interesting guy. Again, another kind of guy that I met. Pat Travers, nope, never interviewed him. If you're asking me if I want to, all of these people I would, yeah. And again, someone had asked me earlier, would you, is there types of people? Someone once said, oh, you sure interview a lot of Jewish people. I'm going, I don't know. I don't ask them if they're Jewish. They're just people that I get an opportunity to interview people. It doesn't matter. I don't want to say I'm the least racist guy you'll ever meet because someone else says that, but racism was never part of my family, so I don't care about religion affiliation. I'm not religious. If someone, has a God in their life, Don Felder or Frampton, I've tried Don Felder a few times, and the lady just said, oh, he's not doing Michael DeBar's. No, I'd like to though. Remember him on WKRP in Cincinnati? Michael DeBar's? That was a great episode. If anybody wants to see my video on WKRP in Cincinnati, just look up Nail Sheet, that's the channel. And please subscribe to that channel because I got to get to 1,000 subscribers. I got to start making money on that channel. You can hook me up with Pat Travers. Well, Lori, I know Lori. Well, yeah, please, Lori and I are friends on Facebook. Send me the information. Lori, where do you get all your connections? Lori gave me the interview. Oh, Sticks. Sorry, awful. You don't like Sticks? What, Dan? Lori set me up with Eddie Money. And who else? Was it Mark Farner? I think it was Mark. Ansley Dunbar, yeah. Danny Seraphin, huge influence. Danny was my Facebook friend. He's not anymore. So I don't know if Andy Scott, last one of Sweet, he's probably bombarded with interview requests right now. David Crosby, all over Twitter. It'd be fun. I interviewed his lead guitarist, David Crosby, a little while ago. Did Aldo Nova get back to you? No. Why? Aldo Nova asked me, he was releasing that new album. I texted him and I said, here, I'm John Beaudin. I'm not a schmo. I always let them know that I work at a radio station and have been for 37 years. Artists tend to like that because they know I'm not going to be an idiot, right? Not some guy who has a YouTube channel who's got like 10 subscribers. No disrespect to anybody who's getting started. So I always say I work for QMFM in Vancouver. And, I don't always say I've always worked major market or anything like that because you want to let them know that I'm a professional. I know what I'm doing. I'm a research pig. Greg Raleigh. No, but I think Lori can set me up with Greg. My friend Lori, she just, I think, interviewed his wife. Neil Giraldo. No, I've never tried with Pat Benatar and Neil. But anyway, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. It was going to change your lives, whatever I came up with. No, it wasn't going to. Look at my daughter. She's just looking at me like I'm crazy. Hi, Danica. Say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's autistic, but she's the most wonderful girl in the world. No, I didn't interview Bruce. Yeah, that was an interesting story. We're losing so many people, and you ain't seen nothing yet. You know, people say, oh, you're the obituary channel. Well, if you really looked at our channel, we're an interview channel. We do most of our interviews, most of our videos are sorry, journey. Oh, God, you're going too fast. Raleigh, no problem. Yes, thank you. BTO, Randy Bachman, not Bachman. He doesn't mind if you call him Bachman, but it's Bachman. Bachman Turner Overdrive sounds better than Bachman Turner Overdrive. I interviewed April Wine, Miles Goodwin, the late Jim Clench. I interviewed Brian Greenway and Jerry Mercer. That was April Wine at that time. Just did an interview with his manager, also Steve Miller, manager. Oh, Lori. Lori rocks. You know, I like Lori. Lori, you are a no bull girl. I like that about you. That's the kind, if I lived beside Lori, Lori and I would be friends because she's just, I grew up with girls like that. That's the kind of, you know what you're getting. So Lori, I like that about you. No bull. I see your Facebook posts. Don't always respond to them. Sometimes I'm just busy. Or at night I'm having a little scotch or something. Yeah. I drink the cheapest scotch on earth, Grant's Scotch, because I'm just not a connoisseur. Darcy, I don't know who that is, from Simon, Chaos, and Prism. I don't know. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Rudy Sarzo, Dune has been around. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. A budgie. Yeah, I haven't thought of budgie in a long time. Wow. I just discovered a band this morning from New Zealand, I think, and they released a video. I know why it's hot here, because my furnace still has its pilot, my fireplace still has its pilot's lights on. And it's not on, but that's why I'm so hot here. I'm sweating up a storm. Starting tweet budgie out over Twitter feed a lot. Okay. I appreciate all the people who hung out. Oh, thank you, Snowman. I appreciate it. Thank you for super chatting us. So you can super chat on this. If anybody wants to donate to the channel, you can actually super chat on here. And I don't know, I don't even know where the button is. I can't even tell you where it is, but it's there. If anybody wants to donate to the channel, you can. You don't have to, but we appreciate it because we're trying to buy some good lights, some better lights. We have lights that are on batteries, but sometimes I have to. If I do an interview series, I'll intro and extra maybe 12 segments, and by the end of it, the batteries have run out. That's so awesome. You have one of Bruce's. Oh, you're talking to someone else. Anyway, thank you for super chatting us. We appreciate the donation. Make you look better. Yeah, Keith, you're right. I need all the help I can get. This is perfect lighting here, though. I mean, it's really, really good lighting because, you know, I'm 60. I got blemishes. I like your interview with Derek Shulman. Thank you, Dan. He was a lot of fun, and we had people in common, which was nice. Because after you interview some people, you can go, "Oh, I just interviewed that guy," and you know, and Gentle Giant. I only discovered in the early '80s as far as buying their music, and I'd heard him a little bit in the '70s, but not a lot. And I discovered Genesis late too. I discovered Genesis in the late '70s. And then I went back and bought, you know, a Honeymoon Suite. We have an interview with, are you asking me, Lori? Because we have an interview with Dave Betts downstairs, their drummer. Giles Martin is, George Martin's son. Is it Giles or Giles? Yeah, I'm familiar with his work when he was doing the remastering stuff and Parachute Woman. Oh, I don't know that. Lou Gramm, yeah. If anybody has a Lou Gramm connection. I kind of did, but I had a kind of falling out with the person. Thank you, Fisher Brothers interview. Thank you. Sorry about the fact that they were eaten, but they asked, do you mind? And I wasn't, it's mostly my fault. I take the credit for that, the blame for that, because they said, well, something's wrong with our Wi-Fi at home. And at the beginning of the interview, they're driving around in their car. I think Roger was driving. And then they said, hey, let's do it in a restaurant. Want to do it in a restaurant? I said, no problem. I second Budgie. Send me, anybody who knows someone, send me, if you want me to interview someone and you know who they are, you know them, send me their information. Look for the $ when chat, donate whenever you want. Oh, okay, there's a $. I didn't know that. Thank you. See, like, I don't even know. If anybody wants to donate to our channel, yeah, there's a $. So I appreciate that. That's really nice of you. Yes, anybody, just, okay, so I don't forget, text me or message me on the Rock History Music, Rock History book. Blue Oyster Cult. Yep, got an interview tomorrow. Uli John Roth. Super cool. Yeah, I did Uli John Roth. Oh, he was so much fun. And he didn't, didn't he marry Jimi Hendrix's ex? Niagara Falls, yeah. Honeymoon Suite. I got a new girl now. They had a U.S. hit, right? U.S. Friends, Honeymoon Suite had a U.S. hit, right? Ray Phillips would probably be easy to get. Yeah. I don't get as much requests for interviews these days because of COVID-19, but if I reached out and I had numbers and or friends of friends, I would probably get a lot more interviews because I'm almost caught up with all my interviews, thanks to my son, Chase. Whenever someone buys a t-shirt, he gets the residuals of that because we have to pay Chase because we don't want him to work for free. Have you ever heard of the Beaudins? Oh, yeah, of course. I remember they worked with Robbie Robertson. Wasn't it Somewhere Down the Crazy River? Who was the funniest interview? Oh, I don't know. I don't know who, I can't think of, I don't know who was, I don't know who was funny. Oh, I didn't do it. Doug Bennett of Doug and the Slugs. A lot of you American people might not know, but Doug and the Slugs were sort of a party band in Canada. And my friend Steve Burgess interviewed Doug Bennett, and he knew Doug because Doug's wife, Nancy, grew up with Steve's family. And I remember we all went to Schindler's List together. And some guy was laughing, and Nancy, Doug's wife at the time, Doug's dead now, scolded the guy. And I thought, she's red hair. What year was your first interview? 82. Kenny Passarelli, yeah, I interviewed Kenny. He's on the channel already. Kelly Hansen, yeah, I'd like to interview him. Talk about, replacing a big singer. Yeah, he'd be he seems like such a nice guy, huh? Peter Green, I tried Peter Green. He didn't get back to us. I didn't expect him to. Worst interview was 3 Deep, a Canadian quasi-American band. Joshua Morrow was in 3 Deep, Leanne Rimes' boyfriend, the actor. And Eddie Cibrian and Joshua Morrow. Eddie Cibrian was the actor who was with Leanne Rimes, was in the band. I know he was in a band, singing a trio boys band. And Joshua Morrow from Young and the Restless was in the band, was a Canadian guy, and he's the only guy who was nice. They were so silly during the interview. And my son, Mark, my older son, Mark, was with me at the time. He was just a young kid. I had to stop the interview and say, guys, I didn't want to do this. The station made me come here. That's fine. I don't have to do this interview. You guys are kind of being jerks. You're being disrespectful. And they tried, and finally I wrapped up the interview. I said, guys, just take a picture with my son. They were the rudest. Interview Hart for us, please. Well, I interviewed Roger and Mike, but because I interviewed Roger and Mike, that probably impedes. It's probably harder now to get Nancy or Ann to talk to me. Thank you, Teddy Bates. I appreciate that. Appreciate it. Thanks, man, for your donation. Who was the biggest surprise interview being? Miles Good of April 1 was a pleasant surprise and a disappointment because he told me he didn't want to do the interview in the interview. He said, I don't feel like doing this, and he was drinking back then. And again, I forgive Miles, but that was hard. I couldn't even listen to April 1 for a little while because he was just in a bad mood. He was probably hungover. And but to his credit, he said, listen, man, I don't really feel like doing this, like I said. Oh, John Waite, yeah, he seems like a nice guy, Gary. I never interviewed him. So there's so many people that there's not enough time. I don't have enough time till the day I die to interview the people I want to interview. Will you do a book, some of your best interviews? I've thought of doing it. Read Jeff Wood's book. look up Radio and Rock Stars and Jeff Woods. If you want to read a book about a guy growing up who becomes a DJ, owns a record store, look up Jeff Woods. Jeff Woods on this channel. There's 2 videos of Jeff and I on Rock History Canada, which is our Canadian channel, and 1 video with me and Jeff Woods. He's my favorite classic rock guy. Dinah Ross, no. I know her drummer, though. I know Jerry. Hey, wake up. He's having a nightmare. Wake up. Dog's having a nightmare. It's okay. No, Danica, it's okay. That's my autistic daughter. Little guy was having a nightmare. Hi. How you doing okay? Yeah. Yeah, you doing okay? Yeah. Okay, and there's the other guy, right? Hold on. The other guy, Mr. Skinny Mini. He probably got backlit there. You couldn't see him. Iggy Pop, no, but Iggy Pop is the best performer I've ever seen in concert. Yeah, Heart stopped being that Heart after Baby Lestrange. Pet Shop Boys, that's my wife's favorite band. Tears for Fears and the Pet Shop Boys, and George Michael. She just swears by it. She just loves Pet Shop Boys. I've heard more Heart by Heart rocks. Yeah, they do. And Michael DeRosier, I've been trying to get an interview with him, but he hasn't even read my message. And we're Facebook friends. You know, Cameron Crowe, no, speaking of Heart, with Nancy. They're not together anymore, but I'd like to interview him, but I don't think Cameron Crowe would let me interview him. You have to understand, this channel's not even at 60,000 hits yet. Men at Work calling, hey, I have an interview with Colin downstairs. My friend Steve Burgess did. I have a Bob Dylan connection. Oh, Bob Dylan's not going to talk to us, though. Anybody who has a connection with anybody and you think you can make it happen, we've had a lot of people who say, oh, I know this guy, and it so far barely ever happens. Alias, yeah, Alias, Sheriff Alias, Frozen Ghost, all affiliations. Is it more than words can say, Alias? The Box Interview. Yeah, we have Jean-Marc of The Box downstairs, where he talks about the first, I think, 3 albums, and then I think there's an interview from Closer Together too. How about Kiss? No, I've never gone after Kiss. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good songs they did, yeah. David Lee Roth. No, I almost got David Lee Roth. Didn't get him. Ever interview Streetheart? No, I talked to Kenny Shields on the phone for about an hour, maybe 3 years before he died. And he was trying to tell me that he didn't want to do the interview right now, but he watched my channel. He says, I checked out your channel and you do good work. And, you know, I can tell, I remember he told me, I can tell you're a broadcaster, you know, you're professional, you do your research. And I want to do an interview with you, but I'm going through some stuff right now. I think it was with his mother, perhaps, if I remember correctly. He didn't quite tell me, I just found out after. And then 3 years later, he died. And I just remembered that phone call I had. And I thought to myself, well, this could have been an interview. We talked on the phone for an hour. But Kevin Cronin would be great. I've tried Kevin Cronin, REO Speedwagon. But I couldn't do it. Chaser, can you come down here, please? And give Danica her meds? My daughter has seizure medication. I don't want to leave and just... but he can do it because he's a teenager and sometimes babysitting. I know you have to work. And there's the dogs. A shout out to John. Thanks for taking your time answering these fun questions. Thank you. I appreciate that. Baby Lestrange. It's okay. Chase is going to give you the phone too at 6. Oh, yeah, give her, make sure it's the right day. Yeah, thank you.
It's Wednesday, right?
It is Wednesday.
Come here deeper.
Go get your medication. And then you're going to get the phone. Yeah. My daughter has grand mal seizures maybe once a month, sometimes more often. He's a good boy. Thank you, Keith. Keith knows. Keith is one of my best friends that I've never met. You know, he's like a brother. He supports our channel, bought a lot of our t-shirts. Didn't have to, Keith. Thank you, appreciate that. And you have to give her your phone so she can watch Barney videos. Why was Howard Leese only a member of both versions of Heart? I don't know, because he became, he's Bad Company's, not Bad Company's, Paul Rogers' musical director now, or was. Donnie Iris, oh, remember Leah? I mean, love ya. Love you too, Keith, in a manly kind of way. That's right. I bought that Donnie Iris album. I really liked it. I liked the heavy sound of it. Jackson Browne, no, Paul Rodgers is one of the greatest singers of all time. Helix? No, but I talked to their lead singer. What's his name? He's a Facebook friend of mine. Frankie Valli, almost had him. A lot of them fall through. You know, they get sick. They don't feel like it. I don't know. No disrespect to Frankie because I don't think it had anything to do with him. But sometimes interviews that fell through were like Roger Moore, James Bond. Roger Moore was in town in Deep Purple. Brian Dolmer, yeah. Yeah, that's his name. Steve Perry, no, I'll never get Steve Perry. I don't think so. Maybe when Steve Perry's an elderly man and he's bored. Yeah, Brian Vollmer, thank you. He's a nice guy. He's such a no bull kind of guy. And I said, let's do a track by track with the new album. He says, no, that'd be too much. I went, what do you mean? Let's just do a track by track. You'll talk about every track. I've done it with many artists on our sister channel, Rock History Book. But he just thought that was too much. But that's okay. It's his. You're fortunate having cerebral palsy. It makes concert going kind of difficult. I just live music. Oh, no kidding. God, sorry to hear that. You see, with Danica having autism, she's in very good shape. We have to watch her weight because, you know, if it's in front of them, delete it. Love the Henry Gross interview. Henry's a real nice guy. Yeah. I've talked to Henry a few times since then. He just gone on the phone and just talked. Joe Jackson. No, I saw Joe Jackson on English Bay in Vancouver once, and I didn't realize he was tall. I went, I mean, not that I thought anybody's tall or short, but I saw him walking. I'm going, Joe Jackson's really tall. I'm 5'10", so I'm not Kid Rock. No, but he'd be a good interview. Yeah, I've got a connection with Greg Raleigh, so we're going to look into that. Kate Bush. Oh, my God, I would love to interview Kate Bush. Oh, man. We just interviewed Charlie Morgan, and Charlie played with Kate Bush, and he said she's not that like kind of a few bands did it, that they survived it. Breakups, going out with the singers. I know a guitar player in Lou's band. Lou is born again. Yes, he is. Yeah. And I talked to him about that. For a guy I'm not a Christian, but if I know someone's deeply into their religion and their faith in God, I will always ask them about it. When I interviewed George Benson, I said this before many times, sorry if you heard it before. When I interviewed George Benson, when I was into jazz, programming jazz on radio, a lady who set up the interview, Linda Nash, who used to work for CTI Records, and of course George was on CTI. CTI was such a great label. She told me, she says, wait, if George seems like he's getting bored, John, your sound dropped for a couple of seconds here. Oh, I don't know why. Maybe I hit the tripod. Oh yeah, the Fix, of course, I remember the Fix. But anyway, she said, ask George about being a JW, Jehovah's Witness, at the end of the interview, and you'll have him for another half hour. And I did, probably 45 minutes, long interview. George talks about the CTI years starting off. I got to find that interview. It's a great interview. Joni Mitchell would be great. I'll never get Joni Mitchell in a million years. Flock of Seagulls. Flock of Seagulls. Someone asked me, they keep asking me if I dye my hair. I don't dye my hair. Look at this gray in there. Look, gray, gray, gray. I dye this. I only dye this. And Shannon says it makes me look like Rico Suave when I dye my goatee and my mustache. Rico Suave. Los Angeles. Ha ha ha. It's Keith. Keith, what are you ha ha haing about? Come on. Keith, you should come on here with me. It'd be fun. Yeah, it'd be fun. Keith is a character. Keith should have a YouTube channel. My God. If you're looking for characters, hair. Oh yeah. Yeah, I kept most of my hair. Not bad. It's receded a little bit, but what are you gonna do? You see that video of that cook, the German girl? Neil, Getty, or Alex? I would probably talk to Neil Peart if I could. He's dead. I can't. But of Love, Johnny Eccles of Love. Oh yeah, Love. Wow, I haven't thought of that in a long time. Frank Cosmo. I was just talking to Jim Mestia. What is it? Yesterday. He gave us a little concert. Jim played on original drummer Boston. He's trying to buy a house right now. I've talked to him off and on, like we've become friends, which is really nice. So Jim talked to me yesterday and he said, hey, by the way, the interview's coming. We're going to do an interview. I said, well, that's great. And then he said, hey, I'm trying to buy this house. He sent me a picture of the house. Freaking beautiful. Hagar was saying, like music. Yeah, that's true. We're way off topic now. Sorry. So Jim asked me what song that Chase had done on YouTube. Chrissy Hind, no. There's a woman who seems like she doesn't suffer fools. And I said it was Hitch a Ride. He said, well, I originally drummed on that, but then, I got replaced in Boston. And then he came back for third stage. So he played Hitch and a Ride for us on drums with a lot more fills and interesting things. Good drummer. And Jim played keyboards for me, played guitar for me, just a private little concert he gave me and Chase. It was really nice. So Jim Mastia of Boston will be on this channel one of these days. He promised me. Wow, that available on YouTube? No, it was just a private thing. I couldn't even record it if I want to, and even if I did secretly, I would never release it because I don't do that. There's no artist that goes out there and say, "Oh, John Beaudin misquoted me." I don't do that. If someone coughs, I take that out. If someone has a crutch word, yeah, Brad Delp, that is just so. And Jim talks with such kindness about Todd Rundgren. I have not tried. Have you ever interviewed Pat Travers? My God, that name's coming up today. Get Roger Waters. He loves to complain about. I'll never get Roger Waters. I don't think so. I've never tried. It's like I've never tried for Elton John. Third stage was the last time I saw Boston live. I've never seen them live. And that was Jim Mastia. You toured with him. Roger is a waste. He's David Gilmour. I would love. See, David Gilmour's always been my favorite in that band, even though I know the history. Come on, look, consider what I do. I know the fact that Roger wrote a lot of the music. And that was just an iPad. That noise. Barry Gibb. I'd like to interview Barry Gibb. Yeah. David Gilmour is, yeah. I don't know. I just like the guy. I always resonated with him. And I don't like when Roger Waters, and I know it was for character purposes. I think The Wall should have been a single album, but that's sacrilegious to some people to say that. I don't like when he's trying to sound like an old man. I just thought that was grating. Pat Travers. Okay. Anybody got a Pat Travers connection, did they say? Roger was a dictator. Yeah, it sounded like, well, considering what happened during the wall, right? Nick Mason. Nick Mason is a possibility. And I like drummers, as you guys know from the channel. We've done a lot. I'm going so over here. I didn't expect to be on for this long. I've got to feed my kids. Oh. Danica, give Chase. Can you come and get the phone, honey? And tell Mom that that Danica has had her meds. Sorry, we have to do stuff here. Tell Mom that Danica had her meds.
Okay.
So that we know. The dog's very protective. Hear that? Good friends with Joseph Wooten. Oh, right on. Yes, please do. Guys, help us out. Santana, I've never tried. Mr. Carlos Santana. I'm not a big Santana fan. Marathon was the only album that I really loved, and people look at me and they go, what? Richard Starkey, Ringo Starr. Yeah. I would, considering I've gotten to know Steve Lukather a little bit, I would never put him in the position of going, hey, can you ask Ringo Starr if he wants to interview? You can't do that. The Spoons, we've got, what's her name? Not Terry, what was her name? Terry Nunn? We got an interview with the Spoons downstairs from the 80s. But again, Steve Smith, I've never tried. I don't think he'll talk to anybody because of the lawsuit. All the interviews sound like this. Because they need to be baked. They're all on reel to reel. Travels is a great album from Pat Metheny, yes. I'm friends with Nando Loria, who's his backup singer. And Nando Loria used to be on the Narada label. Charlie Watts, I'd love to interview Charlie Watts. He seems eccentric. Free Speech, is that a band? Or are you talking Free Speech? Because it must be a band. There's Colin Peterson, Vince, I can't make that out. Oh, the Bee Gees, the 60s lineup. Yeah, the Bee Gees drummer, I don't know his name. I know they had a picture of him on Spirits Having Flown in the back. or inside the insert, he wrote a book. Strange Advance would be interesting. We've got an interview with Strange Advance. I forget the guy's name, the original singer. He had big hair. Talking Heads. I was just listening to Talking Heads today thinking, man, their music is so relevant right now. Love Kansas. Tried with Candace, and they said no. Mick Jagger, I'll never get Mick Jagger. I mean, if the channel gets to 100,000 subscribers, that's not a nice Kenny Jones. I'd like to, yeah, with his work, talk about all his work he's done. Specifically, in my case with Kenny, would be the Who. Tony Iommi would be a great interview. Yeah, I worked with a guy named Tommy Iommi in a shoe store for a week, but then I got to know the guy after I left, and I've said on videos Tommy instead of Tony because I knew the guy so well. And I'm going, that made me look like a freaking idiot. Punky Meadows. Colin James, I did interview Colin James when he was releasing an album 14, 15 years ago, and he recorded it in Europe someplace, I think, and it might have been in the U.S., in the Louisiana, something, and it was, Danica, honey, can you put the volume down? Thank you. She's autistic, so she plays the same thing on her iPad over and over and over again. It's like stimming. Elvis Costello, I have not tried. You guys are just sending me like, have you interviewed this person? Have you interviewed anyone but Ted Nugent? I probably wouldn't interview Ted Nugent. I probably couldn't get Ted Nugent. I think Ted Nugent would probably go for people who are a conservative newspaper, and I can't blame him. That's probably what he'd get a bigger bang for their buck. Remain in Light. Are you telling me to remain in light? I don't know. Is that a band? A Real Family, John. It's not better. Yep. It's kind of nice hanging out here, but we go right off topic because we're not talking about Sammy Hagar. And Supertramp, yes, we've interviewed Supertramp. And I'm interviewing John Helliwell next month, or in the next few weeks. I'll have to talk to his people. They said yes already. He already agreed to do it. I think he went and saw our, I know he's familiar. Someone had told me he had seen the top Supertramp songs because he's on it. And I didn't do that interview, but I inherited that interview. Michael Anthony would be amazing to interview. Ozzy. I was in the running for an Ozzy interview, and I wasn't sure it was going to be a phoner only, and I'm not sure if I was going to have to transcribe the whole interview because Ozzy talks like this. That's the way. That's John Beaudin. You know, no disrespect to him, but that's how he talks. And I'm going, am I going to have to transcribe this whole interview? Right? Robin Zander would be great. I'd like to. I like Cheap Trick. I've never been a big Cheap Trick fan, but Joe Walsh. Well, I've interviewed 2 of the 4 original Eagles, Randy Meisner and Bernie Ledden. And as I was saying a while ago, it's nice that Don Henley's wife likes my work. I would never in a million years ask her if I can interview Don. I wouldn't put her in that situation, even though that's his wife. I've thought of it, but I would never do that to her because I remember I wished her happy birthday because we're Facebook friends, and I know she doesn't befriend just anybody. And she told me again, John, I really like your work. I respect what you're doing. Right. Don Henley's always been my favorite. Felder, I tried. They said, oh, he's not doing live interviews. I said, let's do a phoner. And then they never got back to me. Peter Cetera, I like retirement. I don't know. I don't know how he likes retirement, but I bet you he really enjoys it. He doesn't need the money, by the way. He's handled things really well. Bootsy Collins? It's never occurred to me. I never really thought of interviewing him. But I'm friends with Jennifer Lopez. I've never really considered her a musician, and I know that a lot of people might say, "Oh, how dare you?" I've never looked at her as being a musician, so I don't think I'd ever try to get. And and she's just not my favorite person. It's just I don't know. It sometimes it's just what's that noise? Oh, it's the dog. Alice Cooper, maybe someday. Yeah, maybe. I've never tried for Alice Cooper, I don't think. Sometimes there's holes in my memory, and the next day I'll go, no, wait a minute, I did try, but I forget. Ever talk to Phil Moog? No, no. What happened to FM Nash the Slash? Well, what's his name? Who's the guy who writes with Katie Lang? He phoned me. Tell the guy who writes for Katie Lang used to be at FM. Someone come up with his name. David Gates is the only guy left in bread. They're all dead except David Gates. Ben Mink, thank you. Ben Mink one night, because I'm not sure, it wasn't my idea, because we had a promise of performance at the radio station where we worked. Phasers on Stun FM, yeah. And what they did is they shortened all the songs. And I don't know why they did it. It was not my idea. I wasn't the program director at that station. I was a program director of another station. And so some guy phoned up the radio station. He says, it was a Katie Lang song. I don't know if it was Constant Craving or something, whatever. Anyway, he co-wrote it. So he didn't say he was Ben Mink, but it had to be Ben Mink because he phoned up and he said, what the hell? I can't believe you shortened the song. Why would you do that? I said, well, man, sorry, man. It's like, I'm like the cashier. That's not my idea. I'm just playing the music. And he was really angry. He was respectfully angry. And then I went, well, that's got to be Ben Mink because he co-wrote this song with Katie Lang. And I think he lives in Vancouver. I don't know. He must. So it had to be Ben Mink. So I didn't ask him if he was. And I got off the phone. And I remember going, that was a real heated conversation because I don't, Dave Grohl, is that who you mean? Would be nice. I don't know if it's not, is that Denny Lane? I almost got Denny Lane and Dave Mason. I used to be friends with Dave Mason. AJ Croce, yeah, Jim Croce's son. You guys are just sending up like a whole bunch of names, just like the Motels. Yeah, what was the name of their lead singer? What was her name? She had an interesting look, the Motels. Come on, you guys are, I forget. See, names like that I used to say all the time on the radio because I used to play the Motels at a station called K-Light in Edmonton. I was getting into radio at that time. It was at Martha Davis. Thank you. Pookie? Your name is Pookie? Yeah, Bob Geldof. Yeah, thank you, Martha Davis. She's still around. I saw her recently. She's still around. She seems like a tall woman, is she? But anyway, I saw a video of her, and she had just a distinctive voice. Remember she played that, was it Monkey Time, or what's the name of that song with the tubes? I kind of like that. Till Tuesday. Yeah, and what's the name of the girl from Till Tuesday? She released a solo album, the blonde girl. Sexy Eyes. Oh, yeah. Keith, Sexy Eyes. Midjura. Oh, Ultravox, yeah. Suddenly Last Summer, thank you. Amy Mann, thanks. See? Dale Bosio, yeah, Missing Persons. I went to a drumming clinic, speaking of Bosio, and saw what was the biggest drum kit I've ever seen. Anyway, Jinx, Motels interview confirmed. Really? You got me an interview? I talked to someone from the Motels, Terry Bosio there. See, I forgot his name. The brain, man. Sometimes, so and I don't find that happens when I'm on the radio. I'm not on live, but I do my show, and I usually don't make a. Yeah, I've been to one of the drumming clinics. By the way, when you went to the Terry Bosio drumming clinic, did he set up his drums in front of you, which was really the first half, and he didn't address the crowd? He said hi when he came out, and just proceeded to put his drum kit together or tweak his drum kit. Katie Lang got co-writing credits, and Mick Jagger. Oh, yeah, I remember that with the Rolling Stones. That's money, huh? Yeah, that's money. Right Said Fred. Yeah, I'm not that... aren't they the guys who did I'm Too Sexy? Yeah, I'm Too Sexy for... Dale equals rock and roll. I didn't write... The Human League. I've never interviewed the Human League. I don't do a lot of the poppy kind of electro stuff because I have to watch not alienating the audience on here. Whenever I do something that's heavily pop, sometimes the audience will go, Too Sexy, yeah, to my shirt. The Smiths, no, and nor would I. I don't think that's a band that my channel, you know. I have to watch with 80s stuff. I really, really have to watch. At one point, I thought of doing an 80s channel, and I'm going, no, it's just too much diversifying. Love Tom Petty's wife told Trump. I didn't see that. Oh, about him playing I Won't Back Down. Was it I Won't Back Down? Was that the song? Frank Marino, again, I know we're going to... Chris Stewart. Very appreciated, very discreet, appreciated. Chris Isaac, never try. Oh, I had Chris Isaac, yes. It didn't, it fell through. I had him when I was a program director of a radio station here in Calgary, and it was scheduled, but it didn't happen. Michael McDonald, but just wasn't a fan of Michael McDonald. I like Michael McDonald. I liked his version of the Doobie Brothers a lot. I like Tom Johnston as well, as much. Stewart was, Genesis' first drummer, right? Yeah, I tend not to pay attention sometimes with the guys who played with Genesis for a short time, because Steely Dan, I wish, God, Donald Fagen, The Nightfly, Fee Waybill. I tried, Lori? I tried to get Fee Waybill, and I sent a thing out to the Tubes. They were doing a new tour, and they didn't get back to me. Peter Gabriel, I'll never get Peter Gabriel. I don't think so. Justin Hayward, John Lodge, Moody Blues. Possibility. It depends. If anybody knows any of these people, I know this is a lot to ask, but obviously you could say, hey, I know this guy. He's got a great channel, and he'll treat you well. Sammy's an old friend. Me and brother, just getting old, not a crime. Yeah, no worries. No worries. Okay, I don't usually do you support artists that are not mainstream anymore? Judy Zook. I remember Judy Zook, yeah. No one knew how to say her name. And we used to play Judy Zook at Jackson Brown. I've not tried. Love the love you give to Toto. Thank you. One of my favorite bands. As you can tell, Toto and Genesis are my two favorite bands, right? Now, can you tell? You know, sometimes one guy says, too much Genesis, I'm out. And I went, okay, sure, that's okay. I get interviews, I get requests for Saga now and then. Saga. Song on the Loose, I remember I bought that album. I had that album. But I don't know how much. I have to look at hits too. I'm going, well, would that help? Will people on my channel want that? Moxie, Earl, I interviewed Earl. He's on my Canadian channel. And on this channel. Moxie, big in Texas. So Earl from Moxie is on this channel. Pink Floyd from the 70s, the best. Yeah, me too. Jackson Brown, he's okay now, as far as I know. Richard Marx, I've tried. Again, see, that's an 80s act, but I think because we get so much hits with the Toto crowd. By the way, Richard Marx was never in line to be a Toto singer. It was a rumor. I asked Steve Lukather. Toto will get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in the next 5 to 6, 7 years. No, Genesis is still planning on doing their show. I interviewed Jerry Beckley and Dan Peake after he left America. So I have interviewed America, 2/3 of them, but not Dewey Bunnell. I met Dewey. That's how I got those autographed albums that, you know, when I'm talking and there's autographed albums, by the way, they're all autographed. Some are in pen, like Breakfast in America is in pen. Paul Carrick? No, I'd like to, though. If anybody knows Paul Carrick, tell him I'm coming a calling. This is, oh God, I've been on here for an hour and I gotta go feed the kids. Yeah, Genesis, God. I've interviewed Steve Hackett 3 times in a span of 3 years. Dee Snider, I had a chance to interview Mr. I'm Not Gonna Take It, but I was really busy, so I didn't do. Paul Rogers, I'd love to. I have a connection with Paul Rogers. Leland Sklar, I've tried. Leland's not getting back to me, and we're Facebook friends, but he probably gets a lot of. If anybody knows Leland Sklar, please tell him. And he'd say yes. I mean, he's communicated with me before, but he's doing his own videos right now. And I don't think I could. Howard Jones, I'd love to interview Howard Jones. No one is to blame. Yeah, I know he's on YouTube, Leland Sklar, but I don't know if I could get him. Oh no, he's not getting back to me. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm getting tired. Sorry. Go feed your damn kids. I knew that was you, Keith. I read the no, they had snacks, not like they're starving. Uh, yeah, Rick Beato, yeah. He was on, yeah, he interviewed Leland, I know. And Leland had really nice to say about Rick. I like his chat. I don't watch a lot of other people's stuff, even Rick's stuff. I don't watch, it's just not my thing to watch another, and Rick's not doing what I do anyway. I'm a drummer, but I'm not a real serious musician. And Rick is a great musician, and Rick does amazing work. And when I can, I'll watch his stuff. But I don't watch anybody else who does what I do. Just for the record, I don't watch. And by the way, thanks for anyone who's super donated to us. Uh, yeah, Richard Page in total. I have to go back to see what I asked ÄúThe about that, and I think he told me. I don't remember. I think he told me that didn't happen, or that's just that story got out of hand. Yeah, it was Dan. Yeah, Dan. It was Ben Mink. It had to be Ben Mink. He must live in Vancouver. Bobby Caldwell. I talked to Bobby Caldwell's wife. I think her name is Shirley or Mary. I think it's Mary. She called me on my cell phone one day and talked to me for an hour. And I was going to talk to Bobby Caldwell. What You Won't Do for Love. It's a shame that most people don't know more songs from him because he's a great songwriter. But it never happened. It never got around to it. I remember she telling me that she liked horses. Mick Taylor, yeah, I'd love to, of course. Get in the comedian Christopher Titus on Twitter, and you'll have an in with Richard Marks. I've tried with Richard. I've contacted. It's hard to get his share. I don't think I'll ever get share. Davey Johnston. I've tried to get Davey, and I know his brother on Facebook, and I'm going to have to contact his brother because I'm doing an Elton John series, song by song series, and I'm going to take you guys in here. I'm going to unplug this. By the way, thanks for everyone who donated to our channel today. I appreciate it. Yeah. What do we always say? Every bit counts. Thank you very much. I have to feed my kids. But I'm going to bring you over here. Tripod. Have you ever had? It's Cooking with John Beaudin. Look at, you know what that is? Cauliflower. It's cauliflower rice. You might think, John Beaudin, have you lost your noodle? Why would you eat that? And I go, well, it's actually pretty good. I gotta put this up here. My daughter's looking at me like she says, what are you doing? I'm gonna put the tripod up here because I'm having a good time. Sorry guys, just give me a second. It's all in good time here. There we go. Ta-da! Have you ever had a meal that made you feel hungry? Well, I'm John Beaudin. Okay, let me put this up. You're going, Johnny P, you're losing your freaking mind. There you go. There we go. This is not as good as lighting. Holy God. Thank you, David. I really appreciate that. That's very nice of you. It's very kind of you. Thanks for donating to our channel. We're trying to buy some lights right now. Look at all these things on my face. That's not good. We're cooking with John Beaudin. Let's go to the fridge, shall we? Let's see what we have in here. Oh, look at this. Food and stuff. Well, that's what you get around here. Food and stuff. And we got beef burgers, and what else we got? Cooking with John Beaudin. This is I'm never doing rock again. I'm only going to do cooking stuff from now on. Hold on, guys. That's all you're getting. Barbecued. Slightly burnt. John's Kitchen, yes. You know what? I feel quite comfortable doing this. So I'm cooking. I'm cutting some burgers right now. Hot dogs, rather. Actually, they're Smokies. Emmett Rhodes. I don't know who that is. Who's Emmett Rhodes? Hot dog. No, it's not hot dog. It's actually. I never thought in a zillion years I would ever get on here in my kitchen, because usually I'm not. This is just a really relaxed kind of area. Serve some hot tuna. I like hot tuna. Led Zepp hot dog. Yeah, that's right. You guys are funny. I gotta wash my hands now. I'm over here. Anyone who's tuning in is going, how come you're not talking about Sammy Hagar? Well, it's because we've talked about Sammy enough, and I'm just decided. I've been on here for, oh God, a couple of hours, I think. Thank you. We got $19 in tips. Thank you. Our daughter is now going to eat. Danica, come over here. That's for you. I love you. Love you. Oh. Okay, I'll let me get you another fork. Sorry. Cooking with John Beaudin. Here, just hold it like that. And yeah, so I'm going to wrap things up because I see, oh my God, we have Danica Patrick. Oh yeah, race car girl. I'll interview Danica Patrick. Impure thoughts, impure thoughts, impure thoughts. Shannon, my wife's not jealous at all. We've always been the type of couple that are just not remotely hot dogs for all. They're not hot dogs, they're Smokies. Come on, guys. Emmett Rhodes would be fab. Who's Emmett Rhodes? I don't know everybody, but I don't know who that is. Hold on. Who is it? Someone tell me. How about Carousel Lambra? I love Carousel Lambra, that song by Led Zeppelin. I freaking love that song. Like, love it. One of my favorite Zeppelin songs. It's a long piece too. And I'm stuck here. I'm trying to think of what's going on. Hold on. Here we go. Sorry, guys. Don't get dizzy. I'm going back to my sweet spot. Give me a second. Oh, there we go. Oh, now I gotta lower this. All right, you guys getting seasick? There you go. Sounded like Paul McCartney. Huh. Wouldn't it be nice if like someone just contacted me and said, hey, would Darlene Love, I'd love to interview Darlene Love, especially at Christmas. Thank you for the vid on Steve Priest. I was a huge Sweet fan. Mick Tucker was one of my favorite drummers, very underrated. Easy for the Tubes. Fee Waybill needs the press. Well, I've tried. They never even got back to me. And a lot of people don't get back to you. They go, oh, another Don Brewer. I interviewed Don Brewer. It's already on the site. Mark Farner as well. Interviewed both of them. There's a long series where they're not together, of course. Uh-oh. Sorry. He's eating headphones. No, don't do that. The dog's eating headphones. Headphones. Anyway, by the way, I'm on the keto diet. And I've lost like 9 pounds already in a week and 3 days with the keto diet. Anybody ever do the keto diet? I find it very easy. The first few days I was pretty damn grouchy. I was grumpy, man. I was, I cut out beer and I started drinking those kind of wine, those sweet drinks. I don't know what they are, but anyway, yeah. Oh, look, we got $38 in tips. Thank you. Well, that's very nice. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Darlene Love has a Facebook page. Why you don't do DM her? I will, yeah. Emmett Rhodes, the merry-go-rounds. Oh, I'm not familiar with him. The problem with this video is I'm not sure why the comments don't show up. Once I'm finished this, the comments aren't showing up anymore. Only the regular comments that are underneath, I'm not sure why that is. I've tried keto, but it gave me so many headaches. Oh, really? Wow. Thank you for the information. I appreciate you sharing that. I haven't had migraine headaches since I turned 50. I'm 60 now. Heading into, I'm not saying you got a migraine headache. I'm just talking, you got headaches. But I haven't had, and Shannon still gets migraine headaches, but she, like I said a while ago, has an autoimmune disease and cannot catch COVID because she will die. My wife, that is. Mayor Teenager John. Okay. Pookie. I love that. Pookie. Blood clot. What? Edward, thank you. Blood clot from what? What caused it? Do you know? Explain the music from Rocky Street Music. Is that what you're asking? It's a music. That's just our name. And I designed the logo and I sent it to a professional. I said, make this pretty. We're just a music news channel. I don't know who that is. Wendy Melvoin. Who is that? I know that name. Howard Jones. I could work on it. Oh, please, Howard Jones. Thanks, Dan. Dan, who are you? You're like know everything. What the hell? You're like the super guy. I need to know more information about Dan. Dan, were you the guy who said you were in radio? Pookie, Submarine. Is that a band? Or are you talking about Zepp? Are you talking about Zepp? Yeah, I love Led Zeppelin. I used to suffer from sinuses and I had to give up cheese when I developed a heart condition. Oh, yeah, Howard Jones. Yes, please, Howard Jones, make that work. Is there someone you would love to interview? Yeah, Paul McCartney, Elton John. Everyone, I'd love to interview Ringo Starr. I'm not going to ask ÄúThe to set me up though. I can't really do that. I would love to. Oh my God, I would just love to interview ex-Prince and Revolution. Oh yes, I know who she is. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'd love to talk to her. Anybody has a connection with anybody and they want to get on here, we treat all our artists with. I sound like I'm selling something at a show. Okay, if you cut these up there, it'll only cost you $19.95. Free shipping, 3 easy payments. Mickey Dolenz, yeah, I'd love to interview Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees, but I'm not sure if I could get him. I don't know. It depends. Everyone's bored right now, and every artist likes to talk about themselves. You know, one thing I'll never get someone. Rusty is what? I'm always looking for, I thought one of these days I'm going to get a bigger break, but I work where you make your breaks work. You create your breaks. I'd never been one of those guys that said, "Oh, thank you God for this." I don't do that. I'm going, well, I earned that. I made that happen. Spinal Tap crew. Well, I talked to ÄúThe. He talked about Spinal Tap. Emmett Rhodes, a songwriter from the late '60s, early '70s. The name sounded familiar. There's only so many people that I've had in my collection, or friends of friends knew, or now when I do research, sometimes when I get bands mixed up from the '60s that I'm not that familiar with. Sean Denny, Denny Lane, sorry. Yeah, Go Now. Remember Denny Lane with the Moody Blues? Go Now. Al Di Meola, almost interviewed him when I was doing jazz. Paul McCartney's guitarist, Rusty Anderson, he's in LA. Rick, he's getting some content down on YouTube. Taken down, is that what you're saying? I didn't get a chance to. Yeah, he's being demonetized because he's using people's music. I know I saw that video that he put up, and I can understand. Danica, eat your food. Did you eat it? Okay. I saw that video where he's talking about being demonetized, and those are the rules, man. Why do you think I don't put music on my videos? And the music that I put on my videos on the other channel, when I go track by track, I make no money on those videos. I don't monetize them because if I did, I could get a copyright strike. And that's the problem. Wouldn't you rather me talk about a song and then hear Sean Lane? I don't know who that is. Or Scene Lane? But wouldn't you love to hear the music? I can't do that. I can't put the music on there. It's just impossible to do without being demonetized or something. Leland Sklar, even though he played with James Taylor, I know I'm trying to get Leland, but he's not getting back to me. And I can only PM, I don't private message him on Facebook because we're Facebook friends, but he hasn't gotten back to me. So what am I going to do? Danica, let the dog in, Cookie? Thank you. Denny Lane, what happened to him? He was still touring there for a little while. He did well, I think, with Paul McCartney. No, Rudy, come on in. Rudy, come on, doggies. Romy, okay, thank you. Okay, you guys are hungry. I know. We got your food ready right here. Okay, this is for Rudy. My wife got it ready, Rudy, and it's time for them to eat. So Rudy gets his food. Oh, sorry, I just hit him in the head with a tripod. Animal cruelty. No, Romy, come over here. Come over here. Sorry, guys, I know. We have a Havanese who loves to bark. He barks at everything. Chaser, come and get the dog's food. That's my son. He's the coolest guy in the world. Hey, cool guy.
What's up, cool fans?
to see his drumming video. Look up Chase Drums. Okay, get in. He's got, but Chase is interesting because he said, one day he said to me, Dad, I don't want to be on YouTube anymore. I don't want to be one of those kids that do YouTube videos. There's a million of them. And watch him downstairs when he, look up Chase Drums on YouTube. He's gone Trump shoving his politics in the face. Yeah, I don't know. You're talking about Sammy Hagar, which is our subject. I've never been on live this long in my life, ever. I think he just said it off the cuff. My first thought was the title of this video, is he freaking crazy? I didn't quite call it that. What do you consider your two best interviews? I don't know. They're all kind of, I didn't study enough for the Randy Meisner interview. I didn't. I should have done more research back then. I think I was just cockier back then than I am now. When you're younger, you don't know what you don't know. And even though the Eagles are still one of my favorite bands, and I'd love to interview Felder and Joe Walsh, and especially Don Henley, my favorite Eagles, Don Henley. I like his solo stuff the best. They're all your kids, LOL, yeah, all the dogs are. By the way, I have 4 kids, 2 girls, and one of the girls is autistic. She's over there. That's who's making the noise. Danica, are you having fun? Say hi. Yeah, having fun? Okay. Sorry about moving the camera. I have the TV on over there and silent is showing all these movie previews. But I am paying attention, I promise. Anyway, I've worn out my welcome. And thank you, by the way, for everyone who donated to the channel. She's beautiful. Oh, thank you, Pookie. I love your name, Pookie Martinez. Why would be considered crazy? Why would he be considered crazy? I think, okay. Love the John and Shannon. So yeah, Shannon's at work right now. She sells very expensive houses. She's not a realtor, but she works for a home builder. And as you can imagine, she presents really well and she's very bright. And I wake up every morning not believing that Shannon Edwards is my wife. And we've been together since 1997 and she's just beautiful on the, She Sells Sanctuary. I love that song. I love that song so much. Chase is a great son. Yeah, he's helping me with the videos. And remember, when you buy a T-shirt, thank you, Pookie. When you thanks John for the time. Thanks, I appreciate it, Mitch. Chase is just a good kid. He's not one of those. Well, I'm 16. I got attitude. He's never had attitude. He's never like that. You know what? And I don't know if that's nurture or nature. Peace, all. Hope reconnect soon. Yeah, we're winding down here, so thank you. I can't say that 3 times. She Sells Sanctuary. I have tricks of. It's like when there's words that people have noticed that I say wrong on this channel. Kennedy, I say because my family always said Kennedy, and it's Kennedy. JFK, that's his name. But I didn't stop and say it when I was saying it out loud one day on the channel, and people said, "What the hell are you talking about?" And once I said drama, but I meant to say it wrong, and then people got on me and they went, "It's drama." And I said, "I know it's drama. Come on," but I was just going drama. Yeah. So that happens. So we're going to wind up our chat. It would be way more interesting as yes, drama. Not a huge fan of that album. Or do you mean just drama in the band? Oh, drama. I'm talking about drama. Duh. Boom, boom. Wake up. Hi, little dog. By the way, this is a cockapoo-poo. Rudy, come here. Rudy, up here. Oh, aren't you the most beautiful thing in the world? He's got a little head. He's my favorite dog. I just love that dog so much. The Havanese is a cute dog, but like I said, he barks too much. I'm going to wind it down here. And thank you so much for people. We got $45 in donations. We weren't doing this as a pledge drive or anything like that. But Drama, great album. I've got to revisit it. There's a few albums I'd like to revisit, and because extremely underrated. Thank you. I appreciate you guys being out there too. We don't have the time, guys. I'll leave you with this. We don't have the time no matter how old you are, if you're 64 or 14, there's not enough time in your life for you to discover all the great music that's available out there. For people who say there's no great music, I'm going, hey, go back. You know what? I like listening to new music, and every time there's a YouTube video that comes up with a band that when I'm 64, Boogie. Every time there's a Facebook video that comes up, I've said this many times on the channel, and I'm not familiar with the song. I might be familiar with the band, but not the song. I click on it every single time because I'm always curious on what's out there. And every day or two, I'll discover something that I didn't know about. That's the great thing about music. We don't have the time. Even if you're, how come you never mentioned Small Creeps Day? What I mean, I've mentioned Small Creeps Day more than any other channel on YouTube. I've interviewed, come on, Noel McCalla. I think you're joking. Noel McCall, Anthony Phillips, right? And hopefully we'll get that drummer, Sammy Hagar, will do anything to get his name in the paper. I don't know if that's why he did it. I discovered Wes Montgomery. Oh, Wes Montgomery. I love this Beatles stuff. I played Wes Montgomery on the radio when I was doing jazz. Yes, just kidding. Okay. Oh, it's because I mentioned Small Creeps Day too much. I do. I just love Small Creeps Day. Mike Rutherford, if you're a Genesis fan, if you've not heard Small Creeps Day with Noel McCalla singing, Noel's got a new album coming out. He contacted me just before COVID-19 broke out, and he said, "John, I've got a new album. I'd love to do another interview." I said, "You're one of my favorite singers. Yeah, of course. Let's do it." So I'm not sure if COVID has hit him in the pocketbook. Awesome album, Small Creeps Day. Thank you, Casey. Was Wes awesome influence on my playing? Yeah. Drama. Love everything from Mike. Needs a remaster. Small Creeps Day needs a remaster, and it will. I talked to Cherry Hill. Is it Cherry? What's the name of that record label? They email me. I'm in contact with them on a semi-regular basis, and I asked if they were going to do it, and he says we're working on it. John Fogerty, I'd love to talk to John Fogerty. If anybody knows any artist that I should talk to, get a hold of me on Rock History Music Facebook page. It's Rock History Music Book or the other way around. And contact me if you have any questions. Cherry Red, thank you. Thank you. Ron, I appreciate that. Oh, thunder. Hear the dogs? That was thunder. Yeah, we're expecting, oh, look at my hair, crazy. We're expecting a big thunderstorm tonight, and Shannon's worried about her car getting hail. Carl Palmer, I almost had him. At one point, but then it just fell through. I'd love to talk to him. I could probably talk to him. Is hockey coming back? I think so. I'm not a big hockey fan anymore. I stopped watching sports because I get too riled up. I get all wound up. I'm like a little kid. I played hockey for, I always say 12 years, but I think it was closer to 10 years. I was a goalie my entire life. I played the same position. I don't think I've ever played in a game where I was a forward of any kind or a defenseman. I don't think so. Not in an organized game. So look at outside. Hold on. Just wait for the camera to I don't know if you can see the trees. It's coming in. Big storm. Yeah, it's starting to rain. I don't know if you can see it, but it's coming in. Sammy Hagar is going to have to come in and play us a song. Jacques Plante was the best. I had a Jacques Plante mask. I had the smaller Jacques Plante mask. There was a bigger one. There was 3 actually that he sold. And I had the smallest one you could. And I painted it like the Philadelphia Blazers, Bernie Perrant mask. I painted it like that. I have it downstairs. I showed it once on one of our live streams. The first live stream we ever did. How about the most feared hockey finger? Who was the most feared hockey fighter? Oh, fighter. I don't know. Dave Schultz. Oh, it's really coming down now. Johnny Hockey. I loved hockey so much. I used to dream about. I've still got my hockey pads, my goalie pads, my catcher and my blocker. Judy Collins. I'd love to talk to her. If you know her, just tell her I want to talk to her. Send in the Clown's best version of that song. Gary Newman. Here in my car, we've got. It used to be a made-up lyric for that song. Goalies rock, John. You ever notice that goalies have a tendency to be drummers? Certainly a tendency to be catchers in baseball, and I was all 3. I was a catcher in baseball. Tube way. What's that mean? Tube way. I don't know what that means. Warren Zevon, no, and unfortunately we lost Warren. He would have been a great interview. Gary Newman, I've never interviewed Gary Newman, no. The Excitable Boy has the most Two Boy Army. Is that a band? I don't know who that is. I've never interviewed Graham Nash or Stephen Stills. No one from Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. I never thought I could get any one of them. But anyway, goalies, yeah, goalies have a tendency to be. Okay, hold on, come over here. Look what's going on outside. Forgot to put the cover on the barbecue. Anyway, our neighbors in the back are bringing in their stuff. Joni Mitchell, I don't think I'll get Joni. John Cody, who's a great artist, does Tom Scholes do interviews? I've never tried. I don't think I've tried. I tried to get Bradley Delp before he died. But now I don't know if I sent it. I tried. I wanted to, because we had a mutual friend who lives in Boston. Not Jim Mesdia, who I just talked to. Put some blankets on that car. Yeah. My wife, she's at work, so she's worried about what's going on. As far as if it hails, it might hail. So this is the longest freaking broadcast I've ever done. Magazine, Howard what? Devoto? I don't know who that is. What kind of artist is that? I mean, obviously it must be artists that we can talk about. Eric Lindros was underrated. Yeah, did you hear that thing? Was it Mark Messier who went to check Eric Lindros when they were doing the Canada-Russia thing or an all-star game or something, and he bounced right off of him. And Mark Messier's a big guy. I've stood beside Mark Messier because I emceed I don't know who. The original Buzzcock singer. And Mark Messier is, let's just say he's taller than me. He's a big guy. I got a picture with Mark Messier. Have you ever seen Goon, the hockey movie? Yes, I have. Yeah, with the guy from American Pie. Yeah, I saw that movie. Eric Clapton would be great. I'd love to get Eric Clapton. I don't think he's going to do anything. Plus, he's got a hearing problem, and people with hearing problems tend not to want to do interviews. Huey Lewis was like that. Slow hand, yeah. People who have hearing problems hate doing phone interviews because they can't hear him. I'm sure you can get Lamont Van Hook. His first album coming out. I don't know who that is. Who is that? Ever met Gretzky? No, but guess. Oh, I can't tell that story. No, I can't tell that story about Gretzky. I'm not allowed. We had some close affiliations with the Edmonton Oilers because I met Grant Fuhr, Barry Goodrow of Boston. I communicated with Barry Goodrow after Brad died, but it was too soon. The Edmonton Oilers, when I was going through my divorce, my first wife Lynn, used to frequent Phil Collins singer Paul Simons. Let's just say an apartment, not a building, like our apartment. My friend Scott and I lived in this place. He took me in while I was going through my divorce, and I lived with him for a while, and the Edmonton Oilers would party there, and some were married and some were not married, but they partied anyway. I can't wink. So I know that Wayne Gretzky was there a few nights, but I was on the air. I used to host a show called Nightlight, which was back then a new age show, and Vicky sent me a friend's request. Vicky, are you on here? Anyway, they partied at my house. One day I felt like one of the three bears, let's just say, and I thought, someone's been sleeping in my bed. I'm not saying that's Wayne Gretzky, but yeah, they were wild, the Edmonton Oilers. That was one of the greatest franchises of all time. I saw a lot of those games. I used to spend a lot of money on Oilers games. I didn't go that often. I don't want to make it sound like I didn't have season tickets or anything, but they were one of my favorite teams of all time. I love the Oilers. That was nice. It was Ringo. What about Ringo? I'm probably not going to get Ringo. It'd be nice if I could get him, but with Ringo would have to be someone who knows him, who says, hey, this guy John Beaudin's a cool guy. You should. I partied at my house with the Tubes in the '70s. In '75, the Tubes were, oh my God, the Tubes were really the Tubes then, right? They were the anti-type band back then. I remember White Punks on Dope. What's the song they had? What are you gonna do with your life? Is that something like that? What's the name of that song? I haven't heard it in ages. Okay, he wants to come on camera because he's just the cutest guy you'll ever see in your life. Look at that face. Oh, you're beautiful. Look at that face. How could you not love that face? He's so beautiful. He's my favorite dog of all. He's a cockapoo. He's a Cocker Spaniel and three times poodle, or three times cockapoo poodle. Yeah, he's 3 parts poodle, 1 part Cocker Spaniel. And I didn't come up with that name, cockapoo. That's just what he is. My friend Scott DeVores plays with Roger Daltrey. Play a few. They play a few from The Who. Wow, that's kind of cool. Everyone, I'm sure all of you have a friend of a friend or even know some of these people. And I know some of them. I mean, I'm close to the Toto guys, like I said. I'm getting to know Jim Mestia, the first drummer of Boston. But it's rare when you get, and I used to know Daryl Strimmer, like I said yesterday, of Genesis and Phil Collins' solo band. I talked to him quite a bit about 10 years ago, and then we just kind of drifted away. It's pronounced Pert. It's not pronounced Pert. It's pronounced Peart. It's pronounced Peart. I know people who grew up with the guy. It's Neil Peart. It's not Pert. It's never been Pert. It's Neil Peart. Let's get that out of the way. You don't know how many people who, when I say his name right, always say, "Thank you at last for saying his name right." Randy Bachman. Yeah, it's Randy Bachman. It's not Bachman. But he doesn't. He even told me. He said, "Well, that's okay." People say, I can understand. I asked Brand X for an interview, and they declined. They said, "No, I don't think we're interested in that right now," or something like that. And because of Phil Collins, I discovered Brand X, and I thought, well, that'd be kind of nice to tell. Can't believe Neil is not with us anymore. Yeah, I know. That was such a surprise. I'd heard that he was sick, and then I'm not gonna do what the guy with the sunglasses does. I'm not gonna go on there with a rumor, and I heard it from a reliable source, but I still wasn't going to be the one that let the cat out of the bag, And I'm sure I'm not the only one who knew. That said, that's not my place. Heartsick? Neil who? Okay. Anyway, but I wasn't going to do that. I don't do that. I'm not that kind of broadcaster. I'm not going to, spill that. And if the family wanted it, Jimmy, Janice, John, Keith, Brian, the 27 Club, that's just a coincidence. I don't think there's any major conspiracy. Some people think it's a big thing. It's just a coincidence. They just, would Jim Mestia do an interview? He already said he will, but he's just finding the right time to do it. Like I said, he gave us a private concert yesterday. No, I didn't put it online because it was just private for my son and I. And he played Hitchin' a Ride, even though he doesn't play that on. Ramones fan? No, not at all. I wasn't a big into punk music, and I was such a pop guy back then. When I was growing up. Can you interview Phil Collins? I'd like to. I don't think I'll get Phil Collins. Even when I knew Daryl Strimmer a little bit, I never asked Daryl to, because you can't do that. Oh, Ramones, it's cool you were a Ramones fan. They were certainly a monumental band. Mark King, Level 42, I almost got him once. There's an interview with Phil from Level 42 downstairs that I didn't do, but my friend Steve Burgess gave me. Any news, rock, any recommendations? Any newer rock? Newer rock. I like, what's the Marcus Eaton, the guy, he's not rock, but Marcus is David Crosby's lead guitarist, and we featured him on this channel. He's on this channel, and I love Marcus's music so much, but he's more acoustic. And he plays like the hammer-on technique. There's many names for, like Michael Hedges used to play, but he sings as well. What's the name of the band that I just interviewed. Bruce Hornsby. Well, I interviewed Bruce twice. And I'm trying for Bruce again, and they always say no. The last 7 times I've tried Bruce Hornsby, they've said they've sort of let the ball get lost, literally. So I'm hoping to get Bruce Hornsby again. Bruce Hornsby is one of my favorite piano players of all time. I love Bruce. Bruce Hornsby was one of the most underrated performers in the freaking history of music, considering he barely ever plays the same song the same way twice in concert. So I tried to get Kevin from REO Speedwagon, but I don't think they got back to me. So as I can tell by all, David Sanborn, I met David Sanborn because I used to be the co-chair of the Canadian Smooth Jazz Awards. So I met him because we gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award. Love the piano playing too. Yeah, Chris. He is a real virtuoso. Chase did. Chase. Oh, he's got his girlfriend up there. He did, I think, King of the Hill. Chase did. I forget what Bruce Hornsby song it. And Bruce Hornsby wrote Chase a nice long letter telling him how hard that song was to play and how good Chase was as a drummer. No, don't eat that, dog. So I almost cried when, Tommy Bolin, yeah. We've got a lot of interviews with people talking about Tommy Bolin on the channel. Any of the Beach Boys? No. We've got Carl Wilson downstairs, an interview that Steve Burgess did with Carl Wilson. Again, those interviews, it's like I'm dangling something in front of you. They sound like this. Because they're old reel-to-reels and they need to be cooked. And I haven't gotten the gumption. Randy Rhoads, that was a big one. The Way It Is. How topical is that now? The Way It Is, huh? Song about racism. By the way, the interviews with Bruce Hornsby are on this channel. If you want to check them out, they're all on this channel. And by the way, thank you for everyone who donated today. We got $45 in donations for our new lighting system. So that's not what this video is about, but thank you for people who did that. It means an awful lot to us, and it helps us. When people donate to the channel, it's Uli John Roth. We have him on the channel. Just look up Uli John Roth on our channel. There's I think a 12-part series. Rival Sons, great new band. I love Rival Sons. Yes. Yeah, Zeppelin-ish, right? And there's a whole concert on YouTube with them. It's probably a telemarketer. I'm not going to answer that. But it's going to ring a few more times. How can you tell I got bored, and so I got on here and started talking to you guys, and that's really nice. But I haven't been on here for like over 2 hours. This is the longest live stream I've ever done in my freaking life. So I worked hard for the $45. Thank you. Just, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to wrap it up. Any more questions? Set a record. Yeah, I did. Pookie. Oh, I love that name. I can't say it enough. Let's do it again sometime. Well, in the next little while, I just want to change it up a little bit. If news breaks, we'll just get on. We'll talk about it. You know what I mean? And even if it's a band I'm not that familiar with, there's now and then there's bands that I cover that I'm not really that familiar with. Xander, yeah, Robin Xander, I'll try to get him. That I covered because I know the audience wants. And I have an interview, dog hair. I have an interview with Blue Oyster Cult tomorrow, and we'll post that fairly quick. I'll get Chase to do that, to clip it. Chase is my son. He does a lot of that work. So, and like I said, we've got Supertramp John Halliwell coming up because he's got a classical album, and he wants to promote it, and he's already said yes. So, and he was a master of ceremonies because I hate saying Supertramp was a faceless band. They certainly aren't anymore because Roger Hodgson is a name now on his own. But John Halliwell was a master of ceremonies in Supertramp. And he's the one that, because the other guys didn't talk that much. So we're going to have John Halliwell. I don't have a lot in the can right now. We're going to cut up the interviews for Friday Night Live that we had in the last few weeks and cut them up into segments, even though you can see all of them on this channel. Saxy. Okay. And we're going to, so you can, if you want to hear like a specific part of Steve Lukather or Steve Picaro talking about something. Okay. Gotta go. It's been, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. What a great evening. Thanks, Sean. And again, thank you for everyone who donated. That's really nice. We're close to buying a new lighting system. Halliwell Saxy, yeah. He's a cool guy. Still looks great, eh? He still looks really, really well. Thanks again. Thank you so much. Again, if another news story breaks, we might deliver it this way. This way we can just hang out. First we talk about the story, then we just hang out and talk. And if Shannon was here, she'd be on with me as well. But she's working and she'll be back in about an hour. Anyway, I've been subscribed for a long bit. Thank you. I appreciate that. Pookie. Oh, Pookie. Pookie, are you a guy or a girl? Because Pookie to me, hear the thunder? Can you hear the thunder? Might lose our power. Anyway, before we lose our power, because this video might get disconnected, thanks a lot, everybody. And thanks for the donations. I appreciate it. Take care of yourself. I'm going to press this button right here, and it's going to end the stream. You guys rock.